Blog Talk Radio.
Stop
And that's my cue to start the show. Welcome to another edition of the Hard Rock Sports Show, live from high atop Hard Rock Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your 3-hour weekly get-together where we bring you the biggest news from around the worlds of hard rock, heavy metal, of course, the wide world of sports. And guys, welcome to Thursday, June the 23rd in the year of our Lord 2022. And we're looking forward to a beautiful show, much like the weather the last few days. I tell you guys, if you can write it up and you can put it on a bulletin board, this would be the weather I would sign up for every day. When I got to walk outside and question, do I need a sweatshirt or I can go out in a t-shirt? That's my kind of day. But the 90-degree days are coming. Get ready for it, folks. It's going to be a hot summer. We all know it, but that's okay. Rather that than the cold and snow. So, guys, welcome aboard. We got a lot to talk about. It's a very, I can't say it's a slow time of the year, but, you know, this show's built around football, and football's in a kind of hiatus now. We got some news stories from football. I got some Motley Crue talk. We got a little bit of Yankees. We'll talk about some social issues. I got a couple social things I want to get to Jeff about tonight. And now we got a guest, David Lioncourt. You saw his video. David's newly with the RFL Records label, and David has a new single out called The American Scream, and we premiered that video. Well, we played that video. It's played all over the place. But we got a chance to show it tonight on our show, so we're looking forward to David popping on. Of course, thanks to John and Dave and Dougie and Sam Bone and everybody at RFL Records for setting it up for us, and we'll look forward to seeing that. But guys, we got to get the show started. I'll just say this: the Yankees and Aaron Judge tomorrow arbitration hearing, and I got to tell you, folks, I think the Yankees did a great job of offering him a very fair contract before the season that he turned down. And so far, he's doing a good job, and it looks like a smart move. But I'm going to blast the Yankees for this real quick. You have your best player, your franchise player, the guy you're trying to get to sign long term, but you want him to be fair with you. You're going to arbitration to pay him basically for what he did last year. You're offering him $17 million. He's asking for 21. Brian Cashman, Mr. Steinbrenner, Hal. Give him the $4 million. Why are we going into a room tomorrow to talk about what he can't do or what he didn't do? Folks, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Okay? Baseball, Yankees, Lon Trost, Hal Steinbrenner, pay the man $21 million. I would give him $28 million. But I do think the Yankees gave him a fair offer. But I would tell you, this time, this makes the Yankees look very bad. They're starting a very big series right now with the hated Houston Astros. Hate the Astros. But again, guys, you know, let's be fair. Pay the man, not for this year. You're not paying him for what he's doing this year. You're paying him for last year, but you got to look at the eyes and say, we want to keep him happy. All right, let's get the show started. I got Jeff hanging in there. My dad's hanging in there. You guys are hanging in there. We got a lot to talk about tonight, and I want to get it started right now. So let's do that. Let's bring on the sexiest man on his side of the screen, my buddy of 40 years. And the man whose birthday we'll be celebrating in a few weeks, the Pope himself, Mr. Jeff Collins.
What's up, man? You're a little hazy over there today.
Am I? I think it's because I got the window open.
Yeah, I think so. I think you got too much light coming in.
Hold on. Let's see if we can rectify it. I get one of the stage hands to fix that, Jeff. Hold on.
Stage hands, yeah.
Any better?
A little bit. I mean, would you put a new light bulb up in there?
No. I could definitely
usually. I mean, I don't know how to adjust the color on my computer anyway, but no,
too dark.
Too dark.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's probably the combination of the sun coming in and everything else. Too much light behind you.
Yeah, it'll, as the sun goes down, it'll go. But Jeff, it's been another big week. The weather's been great. How, Jeff? Like we start the show every week. Jeff, how was your week?
Another one down.
Is that all you got?
That's about it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Are we still with the same schedule? Are we still on the Thursdays and Friday off working all the weekends?
Yeah, it sucks too.
I know you had to work it, but how was your Father's Day?
It sucked. I had to work. I had to be up at 4:30, be there for 6. But
wow.
Listen, any day you gotta go to work, it sucks. It doesn't matter what day of the week it is.
I couldn't agree with you more, my friend. I couldn't agree with you more. So, but all right, well, listen. Hopefully, we'll pep up your week a little bit with a good ending to it, And we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. I got a little bit of social issues I want to bring up to you. I want to get your thoughts on gun carry. I know it's a strange topic for the Hard Rock and Sports Show, but I saw a little bit of, people have been waiting for the Supreme Court to hand down their ruling on Roe v. Wade, which we won't discuss here. But they did pass one today that basically says New York City or New York State has been basically breaking breaking our Bill of Rights by denying people the opportunity to carry a gun, making it very tough on them. I'm curious in your mind. Some people's theory is if more people thought somebody might be carrying a gun, they'd be less likely to try to rob them. Some people say too many guns on the streets are bad. Do you have an opinion on this?
Well, let's put it this way: the bad people that do the crimes,
right,
are going to get their guns illegally anyway. So evidently,
correct.
It doesn't matter where their guns came from; they're not waiting for a permit to carry them. That's one thing.
I agree with that.
Second of all, I see the point of people saying, well, if there was guns on the street, then maybe some of this wouldn't happen. I can understand that. But for every person that thinks that way, there's going to be two that think they're going to go out and save the world. And that them having a gun, like there's never going to be any crime in whatever zip code they're in again for the rest of their lives. And hey, John, how are you? And Will, too.
Hey, Johnny boy.
And some of these people that are now going to be allowed to carry guns should not be allowed to have a cap gun, much less a real gun.
I would agree with that. I think this should be, I believe it should be easier to get. And what I mean by that, Jeff, is that it's very tough to get a carry permit in New York City.
I know that.
All right. So, but I do think that there should be a better chance. Now, should you have to follow certain steps? Should you have to do a background check? Yes. Should you have to do a check to make sure you're not a raving lunatic? Yep, absolutely. Should you have to qualify at a range and know that you can actually use a gun? I think all those things should be part of owning a gun. I don't think it should be given away willy-nilly, but there are a lot of people who think, and again, I don't think it's for everybody. I'm not sure I could carry a gun in New York City or anywhere else because it's a lot of responsibility.
I listen. I don't right now today as it stands. I would not want a carry permit. Okay. Not for me.
Right.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that I would say no to having a gun in my house.
Correct.
Which I don't, but you never know. Maybe tomorrow I wake up and I say, well, I want to get a gun.
Right.
But to me, it's my business. There's going to be people out there that can't wait to tell you that they have a gun on them.
Yeah.
And these are the people that you have to worry about because these idiots, if there's an argument and they hear it, are they going to pull out their gun and start running down towards the argument and be like, oh, break it up, and maybe fire a couple warning shots just to keep people at bay?
I think it's possible.
There are going to be some idiots,
sure,
like I said, that should not be allowed to have this, no matter what the situation is. They shouldn't be allowed to have a gun. But that makes no difference whether there's a carry permit or not. These people just shouldn't have anything stronger than a slingshot, some of them.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people that are responsible. I know a lot of them. I know people that have guns at home and they're responsible people. And I wouldn't have a problem with them carrying something on the street because they're not going to sit and talk, hey, look at this. Hey, look at this. Hey, look at this.
Yeah.
Besides, I mean, listen, if something happens, you're in the mall at Christmas time and there's a shootout, I'm just laying on the floor until I stop hearing, guns going off. That's all I know.
Yeah. Well, listen, everybody's got to do what they have to do to react the way they need to react. And I just say there should be an opportunity to carry. I don't think it should be willy-nilly. Not everybody should. But we have a friend, a mutual friend. I'm not going to use his name because I don't know if I don't know how, I don't know. It's not, I don't think it's fair. But we have a friend who has a sister that lives out of state and in a state where open carry, in a city, in a state that's open carry. Basically, you can have a gun strapped to your hip. And it basically, he said to me, he said, it's proven out there that there's very little crime because you don't know. At this point, they think everybody's basically carrying. So why would you take a chance on robbing somebody who probably has at least what you're carrying, if not more, on you? So I think there's something to be said for that theory. But then the other day on Friday, I left work a little early, and my wife and I went down to a gun range and not too far from our town, and we shot a couple of rounds of with a Glock 17. And listened to the guys in the shop. One guy owned 200 and some guns. Another guy owned 180 guns. And I said to myself, that's an army. That's not protecting yourself. That I don't understand.
Oh, you know what? There are different kinds of guns.
Sure.
So depending, is he saying that he has 180 handguns?
180 guns. He didn't. I did not hear a specification. I would imagine
shotguns.
some long guns. I'm sure some long guns. Some
I know
shotguns.
somebody that that has shotguns, hunting guns, handguns, all different kinds of guns.
Sure.
Semi-automatics, whatever the case is. So and it's a hobby. It
Absolutely.
basically is a hobby.
Oh,
it's a
100%.
right, yes, but it's also a hobby. If you get into shooting, who you hurt? You're not hurting anybody.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, you can have a gun now. What do they call it? There's a permit if you have the gun at your home.
Yes, you can have a I don't know what you want to call a home permit, whatever.
A premises permit.
There you go. Yeah, you can. Yeah, I agree.
But if you want to take it to the gun range, you have to take it in a certified lock box to the gun range, and it doesn't come out until you're in the gun range and everything else.
Correct.
I mean, listen, that's fine with me. Maybe there's some people, the way people drive, you don't need any of these idiots having a gun anyway. But as far as these people that say, there's no violence in my area. Some of these people also live in very small areas where there's 1,000 people, and they all know one another. So it's like you rob one of them, it's like, well, hey, Joe just robbed Bill.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that's fucked up. But I think every situation is different. If you put 10,000 guns more on the street in New York City tomorrow, I don't think it's really going to make a difference.
To be honest with you, Jeff,
idiots that have
this law does not affect what's already happening in our city, in these cities anyway. You said it brilliantly. The guns are here anyway. The criminals are going to get guns regardless if there's chance to get permits or not. Who knows? I mean, none of them are going to get permits themselves because they have criminal records. So most of the people who are going to get guns illegally are going to do it anyway, whether the law is there for them or not.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, so I was just curious. I didn't know where you stood. To me, again, I think if somebody passes a background check, and they do all the right things, and they're not deemed suicidal or crazy, well, I don't see the problem. But again, it's a big responsibility. The minute you decide you're going to put your hand on it and take it out in public, that is a big responsibility that not everybody should try.
Listen, the responsibility is this: you being level-headed enough, to know not to pull it out at the least little situation.
Correct.
You got your blinker on, waiting to get a parking spot, and some carload of kids slides in there before you could get in there.
Yeah,
that's not the situation to pull your gun out.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even if there is a situation arising, and you're in the wall with your wife, and there's an argument happening, and you see this rising, escalating, the best thing is to get out of there. While you're going to sit there and wait for the moment to pull your gun up. But there's going to be some people that are going to be doing that. They're going to be sitting there waiting for the moment to play cowboy and save the world. And those are the people that you got to worry about, whether there's gun permits or not.
100%. But Jeff, you know what? The truth is, anybody is of that mind is going to have a gun anyway, and is probably whether they're going to be inclined to do it one way or the other anyway. So to me, again, I don't think you're going to see a huge rush on people getting guns in New York. But again, if it's making it a little easier, and you know what, I think while New York is yelling and screaming about it, I think eventually they'll just make it a very expensive thing to do, and they'll collect the money for it. And it is what it is.
Right now, I have a friend of mine. You know who he is. You're not friends with him though, but you've met him once or twice.
Okay.
And he decided that he wanted to get guns, so he went to this guy, and the guy charged $1,000.
Okay.
So he gives the guy $1,000, and the guy does all of the legwork for him.
Okay.
Now the letters start coming in the mail. So when the letter comes in the mail, it tells him like, okay, you've been reviewed for your application to apply for a gun permit. We said yeah. So you now need to come up to One Police Plaza within the next 48 hours so that we could talk to you in person or whatever it was.
Right.
So now they didn't say make an appointment or do this or do that. 48 hours to get here.
Right.
So they don't care if you're at work or you can't make it. If you can't make it, you go back on the end of the line and you start all over again. There's no like, okay, gotta go, whatever. Then once you get the gun, if you get the letter 3:00 on Friday, and they turn around and they tell you that you got to be back up to One Police Plaza for 4:15, and you live in Tottenville, you ain't making it. You're not making it unless you got a helicopter. And even then, you have to be there when they tell you that you have to be there, regardless of when that letter gets to you.
Wow.
You don't make it, back on the end of the line, and then you start the process all over again. It is, they don't make it easy.
No, and I'm glad. They shouldn't be easy. Shouldn't be
it was easy enough to go through the steps.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just like you this is coming, and okay, this should be here in a week. Keep your week clear. Don't make no appointments, no this, no that.
Right.
Because now you're gonna have to go, and that's it. So
well, listen, I think it's a good thing. But we'll get more into this. I want to get my dad on, but Jeff, I want to give you a couple pieces of news. First of all, our show has reached epic status in Israel. We are over 14% of our audience is now in Israel. That's correct. We went from hovering around 8. Yeah, we are at 14 and change. In our final weeks, we will be closing down the Block Talk Radio site eventually. But we are at epic numbers for the show. 14, almost 50%, 15% of our show is now in Israel.
Wow.
Huge news.
Yeah, it is huge news.
Just let you know, the motherland has blessed you. I think they're reacting to your beard.
I could do something. If I could put the light splatters here.
There you go. You got the curls working. So just want to let you know we have reached epic numbers for the first time in Israel. We want to thank our friends in Israel for the support. So, but
yes, definitely, man. That is cool.
Yep, that is very cool. Let's get my dad on, see what he's got to say. We got a guest coming up at 7:40. Mr. David Lioncourt is from RFL Records. We'll be stopping by to say hello and chat about the video we played, his new single, "The American Scream." So we'll get ready for that. But let's get my dad on. Let's see what he's got to say, and then we'll move on. I'll talk about Vince McMahon. We got a lot to talk about. What's up, Pop?
Hello, guys.
What's up there, Mr. Florio?
Jeff, you kill me, man. You had me on the floor laughing. You kill me. But what you were talking about, listen, you can stand here all day. You can beat that horse to death. The problem with society is there's no accountability for anything.
I agree with that.
3 guys, if you go put 20 guys in a bar, one of them gets drunk, goes out, hits somebody, they'll condemn everybody in there for drinking. It's the same thing with guns. You can't stop people from getting guns. You can get any kind of gun you want. You could buy a bazooka if you got the right amount of money. And you can probably buy an atomic submarine if you got the right amount of money. There's nothing you can do about it. The only thing, all I say to people is, one thing I always learn, if you're going to buy a gun, better be able to use it.
Right.
Because if you pull it out on somebody, you're going to be in a lot of trouble if you can't use it. So besides that, I'm interested in the what do you think of the draft tonight?
Pop, I don't know. I mean, Knicks need to move up. I don't think there's a guy out there that's going to change the world for them. I hope, my only hope for the Knicks is get another solid player and another guy who's an athlete. And I like the core group. I love Opie Toppin. I love Barrett, Mitchell Robinson. I love the nucleus of this team, and I hope that they don't screw it up by bringing in high-priced players who are at the end of their careers and all that stuff. So as far as tonight's draft, like I said, nobody's jumping off the page at me, and I don't think there's anybody who the Knicks could trade for or trade up to get that's going to make that big a difference. But it's always fun to watch it.
What's amazing when you watch the NBA draft or leading up to the NBA draft, they make it seem like the number one player taken, that's it. You never hear of anybody else in the first round.
Yeah.
So you don't know who these guys are. So with all the players that are eligible to be drafted to go into the NBA, it's one person per draft. You know what I mean?
That's it's it's 2 rounds of the NBA draft. So there is.
I know, but if you don't have that first pick,
if you're not picking the top 3,
guy number 2 on sucks.
Yeah, it really after the top 3 guys usually, and this year I'm not even sure it's that high. It's basically a crapshoot. You're getting a decent player, a good athlete, but I don't think you're getting you're not getting the next Larry Bird or Magic Johnson.
No, of course not. But I mean, it's just amazing, like how it falls off the edge. The NFL draft, you could get a good guy at the end of the first round, even into the second round. There's quality players. NBA draft, that's it. Pick number 2, the guy's already worth half of what the guy that went first was. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it's a whole again. It's about quantity for the NFL. And if you pick number 7 and number 6, some of those guys come out to be stars. You're good. You got 2 shots. And most likely the first one's the only one that's real. So I don't know, Pop. I think I'll have it on the screen, but I'm not expecting much.
Yeah, I don't expect. And the Irving,
Kyrie Irving now, yeah.
Yeah, he's not. The Knicks already. I don't even think they'd have to be suicidal to even look at him.
I would agree.
Pick a guy like that.
Well, here's the thing. The guy's got all the talent in the world. Okay, he's a game changer. The problem is him. He's what the Knicks don't need, in the sense that you can't trust him to play. I mean, there's a reason why the Nets, after investing the time and the money in him, 3 years, are balking at giving him. They have an automatic amount of money they can give him, and it's more than anybody can give him, and they're afraid to do it because of the last 3 years. So, is all the talent in the world worth the distraction and the problem that he become? Jeff, he wakes up on a Thursday and goes, "Hey, my nephew's having a birthday party tonight, and I'm going to go to that. I'm going to miss the next 3 games," and he's done it. So
it's unbelievable with him.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's a great talent.
Yeah,
he's an incredible player, but he just doesn't have the focus. Wow. But I guess when you're paying him so much money, you got to do what you got to do to get him on the floor. And then if you're stuck with him, try to get unstuck with him and load him off on somebody else.
Right now they have that opportunity, but if they don't sign him, the Nets. They've basically wasted the last 3 years. The whole idea was to get these 2 guys together for a full season. They have that ability coming up.
Well, it was 3 years.
It was the last 3 years. Yeah.
Harden.
Yeah. Harden's gone now.
Kyrie Irving and Durant, and they haven't been able to do it.
Nope, and that's the problem. So, Dad, if I'm the Knicks, you're intrigued because he's such a big talent, but he's just such a distraction.
But is he going to turn your team around? Is he going to put you in the playoffs?
Yeah, he could.
He didn't do it for the Nets. And look what they had.
I got it, but he did it. He did do it for Cleveland. He's got the ability to do it. He could do it if he kept his head on straight and played every night the way he's capable of. But if I was the Knicks, I wouldn't do it. To me, I would not do it.
I wouldn't touch him for free.
He brings a lot of baggage, and I
wouldn't want him.
Yeah, I would run from him. Any team I think would want to run from him to give him the money and then to have the hassles that he brings. Here's the thing: if you're the Knicks, it's that allure of he's got so much talent and ability that you just hope maybe 1 year he'll put it all aside and play the game with him, Barrett, Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson. If they sign Robinson, they'd have a damn good team and they'd be fighting for that Eastern Division. But you're right. It's just probably not worth the effort.
He's just going to turn around wake up one morning and decide that Israel is getting screwed over and he feels sorry and he shouldn't play. And, I understand where you're coming from. But, when you start playing sports, it's a team effort. It's one of the few sports that one guy makes a big difference.
Yeah, no.
Football really, baseball, the same thing. Hockey, the same thing.
last year when we were sitting talking about him last year, when he decided that he was not going to get vaccinated,
Right.
a lot of people stood up and looked at him as a hero because he stood up against everybody that was pushing the vaccine on people. Now this year it turns around and bites him in the ass because now he's not a team player.
Yeah, but what about the other people? It's like I understand where you're coming from, and people think of him as some kind of a hero because he stood up. But you have to look at around you who you're hurting, and he's hurting his team.
I hear
There's
you.
a guy
I agree.
who's getting paid, and even if he's not getting paid,
Yeah,
not
but
worth it.
I agree with that. But there's a lot of people out there. Jeff may be included. I won't speak for him. Who had a job that were forced to get the vaccine, that didn't have the ability or the platform that he did to speak out. So while I don't like the guy, I actually respected the fact that he said, "Hey, the Nets chose to pay him, and that's their fault." But I respect the guy. Say, I don't want to take this thing, and you're not going to force me. And if I have to sit out, I don't agree with it as a
I
team.
have no respect for the guy at all.
I don't either. Don't get me wrong.
I can't see a guy that says, screw you. It's like us getting into a bar fight, okay? If I'm going in there to help Jeff out, or Jeff's coming to help me out, and we get in there and Jeff says, oh, no, I can't do that. I don't want to hurt this guy. Well, I'm getting the shit kicked out of me, and you're worried about being a nice guy. You just...
Yeah, I get it, but again, he shouldn't have to have gotten, here's the thing that made no sense, Pop. He can go play in any other city but New York without getting vaccinated, but he couldn't play. He could practice in New York City. He couldn't play in a game in New York City because he wasn't vaccinated. So where's the logic in it?
But Tom,
your first logic is to your team, to your players, your other players. Forget the manager, forget the owners, forget New York City. Your first is there are a lot of guys there that don't make his $30-something million a year. Okay, so they look at and a lot of people they sell out the Garden every night. So where does it end? You should have thought of this before time and said, well, this is what I'm going to do. If you want me, this is how. I just think it's a lot of. I think this guy's one of those guys that what he thinks is what's right, and he don't want to hear from anybody.
I agree with that. Jeff, you were trying to say that.
He's done too many things in the past.
I agree with you.
Last year in the vaccination status was the only thing that led up to all of this that we're talking about right now as far as Irving is concerned. It would be one thing. But there was too many times, too many other instances where he caused himself to be a distraction and he didn't put the team first. Now, while I agree with him with what he did as far as not taking the vaccine,
right?
I could understand that and everything else, even if he hurt the team, because somebody had to make a stand for that. But it was all the other things that he did and all the other instances where he acted out, where he ruined other people's chances, that it didn't matter what he was standing up for at this point in time. He could have been speaking out against anything. He's just becoming another distraction once again, and that's what his career is going to be based on when it's all
100%. I couldn't agree with you more on all of that, because you're right. That's the thing. While I understand, and I disagree with my dad a little bit on the what he owes any of his teammates. Like, nobody owes putting something in your body that you don't want. I don't believe that police officers and firemen should have been forced to do it. I don't think that you should have been forced to do it. If you want to do it, you do it. And again, the problem I have with it, and I got to back the guy up, is I can practice in New York City. I can walk into the Garden and not be vaccinated, but I can't play basketball in Madison Square Garden because I'm not vaccinated. The science now is out the window. So now you're basically telling me, okay, I'm forcing you to do something just because I feel like making you do it. Not because there's hey, nobody in New York City can work without it. I get it. But it's not that way. You can't tell me that I could sit in the Garden 2 feet behind you without being vaccinated, but you sitting in the front and playing, you have to be vaccinated because you work. Makes no sense. So I don't like the guy, and I would run from him.
There's a lot of things that make no sense with that. And
that would go with the guns, the alcohol, the driving, all of that. Nothing makes any sense. It's what's benefit for you at that time.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm going to let
100%.
you go. I know you got people coming
Yeah,
up.
go
Nice
enjoy once
talking
again.
to you.
3-3, Dad. 3-3 in the they just tied it up.
Yeah, I
3-3.
just saw what's his name? Hit a 3-1 homer.
Yeah, Stanton.
There you go.
There
All
you
right,
go.
guys, have a good night.
All right, Pop.
Enjoy. Talk to you later. Take
I'll
care,
see you over
Jeff.
the weekend.
See you later,
Nice
Mr.
talking to you,
Florio.
Tommy.
You got it, Dad. So,
Be good.
Jeff, just to talk a little Yankees before our guest comes on and we move on. So right now the Yankees are, I think, 51-19. I think it's 51-19. Yeah, I think they played 68, 69 games at this point. Let's say it's 70 games. You know, they've got 51, 52 wins. If they were to go 500 the rest of the way, they will win close to 98 games for the season, just going 500 the rest of the way. If they would
I'll
even
tell you right
remotely play better than that, forget it.
You wait till after the All-Star break.
Uh-huh.
And this is it. I guarantee you, this is a team that's going to come out of this in a complete fucking funk. They're not going to be what you think they are in the second half.
You throwing a Maloiki at them?
No, I'm not. I'm not praying that happens or whatever.
Just
But
saying.
all these teams that start off hot in April, May, and June
Uh-huh.
are going to end up cooling off somewhere down the line, and it's going to be at the wrong time. And a team that's 30 games over 500 now, or whatever it is that they're over 500,
Uh-huh.
it's not going to be the same team come the middle of October when they need to be. You know, I
Possible.
understand they're winning in different ways and they're doing it. But is this a team that's capable of staying the course the entire season?
That's what we're going to find out.
Where'd you get this from?
Get what?
This little banner on the bottom. That's a new one.
Oh, that is. You know what? No, you know what that is, Jeff? That's just one of the comments. I clicked on the comment and it moves it over to the thing.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man.
So I could actually do like the
Well, that's nice too, but we don't need him there.
I'm just saying I could do that with any of the comments.
Yeah, it was nice, man. That's nice. That's cool.
Yeah. So anyway, I didn't even know I did that, but yeah, guys, Hard Rocket Sports, Jeff and Tommy on a Thursday night, hanging around until we run out of things to talk about, as the new song says. So stick around. We got a lot to talk about. We got to talk about Gronk retiring. I'm going to ask Jeff I'm going to give him a chance to think about it. I'm going to ask him, what is the best tight end quarterback combination ever? Is it Brady and Gronk, as some people like to say? I don't put that there, but it's close. But there's is Gronk the greatest tight end of all time, as some people try to put it? And I have to think about that one. So after our guest, Mr. David Lioncourt, we'll get to that. We're going to talk about Vince McMahon and him stepping away. Jeff, interesting. To me, it was an interesting thing because he's not being sued by anybody. He's not facing any criminal charges or civil suits. This is strictly the fact that his company has a board of directors, and he paid some hush money that they didn't know about, and they're investigating him. It's his company, I would have thought. But what's your thought on very, very quick on that? I don't want to get too deep in the weeds on it.
Vince McMahon.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't understand what was going on in his mind. From what I understand, him and his wife are no longer together, and they're not married, they're not living together as man and wife.
Yeah, that I did not
they
know.
are married, but they're not living together as man and wife.
Okay.
But they won't divorce because it goes against the family friendly persona, I guess you could say, that they're trying to come off as a company,
right,
with the WWE at this point in time.
Okay.
But $3 million hush money.
Yeah.
$3 million hush money.
Mm-hmm.
That's an unbelievable amount of money.
Sure.
An unbelievable amount of money.
And for one person.
Well, that we know of right now.
They said they're investigating. So yes, I'm saying the $3 million seems to be the one person. This was the person he hired for $100,000, and then after having a sexual and apparent or alleged sexual relationship, he decided to pay her $200,000 a year.
I'm beginning to think that there might have been some tinkering around in the old McMahon poo pipe.
You think so?
Something had to be, because how are you going to?
You're thinking she did some extra special bonus sex?
I think she was double knuckle deep in his poop shoot. Yeah,
interesting.
Has to be, because $3 million.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this isn't something. So you're Vince McMahon. You'd be like, yeah. So I banged this chick. So I doubled her salary because I just wanted her to shut up and go away. You know what I mean? Now all of a sudden it's up to $3 million.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how. I'm guessing this was some sort of a parting gift, non-disclosure, an NDA agreement where he said, "I'm going to give you $3 million. You're going to go away, and I'm never going to hear your name again." And then somebody ratted him out.
Even if you're making $100,000,
yep,
okay, and somebody boosts your pay up to $200,000,
yeah,
and they call you in the office, and they'll be like, "Listen, what do we got to do to make this go away? I give you $1 million cash. You know, you go away, you never wrestle again."
Yeah, I don't think this was a wrestling employee. This was like somebody working behind the scenes, like a secretary or something.
I heard it was another wrestler.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that.
I heard, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to think, how much money is a female wrestler going to make over the course of her lifetime? Jump at the $1 million, $2 million number and running away, right?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what wrestlers make. You know, I mean, I don't know what endorsement deals they get. I mean, and this is just speculation that I heard too.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know for sure who it was.
Gotcha. Yeah, I have not seen that. So I have not seen who the person is. But
only knows for $3 million. I hope she was worth it, Vinny.
Yeah, you know, and I gotta tell you, I'm a semi-young, viral kind of guy, Jeff. I'm hoping at 70-something years old, I'm a little above and beyond, relying on paying some woman to work for me so I can harass the shit out of you. You know what I'm saying? At some point, you gotta file Peter away with the retirement time. You know?
Oh, definitely not. If I was a fucking millionaire and I wasn't married and my wife wasn't in the picture, I'd be getting sued for millions of dollars all the time. I'd be like, I woke up this morning, I'm snorting cocaine off a hooker's ass. I'm going to be sexually harassing everybody. I'm just walking the hallways of the building with it out. Who's going to stop me?
Yeah, again, and that's what I'm saying. I don't see anything with this other than his own company's investigating him. So it's an interesting thing now but he still remains in creative control. Like he still wanted to, and I think that's the thing he should have stepped away from because the creative part of it has sucked for years.
Yeah, it's not what it once was, or without a doubt. But I mean, listen, he must be doing something right because he's from doing high school gyms, and setting up chairs on his own to selling out arenas a couple nights a week and
all over the world.
And paying women $3 million for
hush money
to be sexually harassed. It's
quite a leap.
Yeah, and to think this too, $3 million for him is probably nothing because he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire.
Yeah. John's got his idea of the best tight end combos. Let's see, Brady and Gronk.
Stop right there. His first combo. It does not matter. John Marhecker, you said the best tight end quarterback combo is Brady and Gronk. The others we're not even acknowledging. You just acknowledged the best, Tom Brady. I'm sickened by seeing that. That is disgusting, John.
Oh boy! And yes, Doug, what you heard from Jeff was definitely from experience. He's been knuckle deep many times in his life, so it's a true story. But
not in mine. And I've been married for several years now, almost 20 years, and this.
Hey, Carrie. Well, we'll get back to Jeff's sexual exploits after our guest. We have him up there now. We're going to get David Lioncourt on in a second. But first, I want to say thank you to all the people who help sponsor. I should say sponsor all the friends of the show, especially our good friends at Hemp Wizard Beer Care Co. If you guys are out there and you got a buddy or even a woman with a beard like Jeff's, you got to check out Hemp Wizard Beer Care Co. They got the best stuff. Jeff, tell them about it. You're better than tell
Listen. Let's right now. If you're a man, you buy this. If you have a woman that has this, you get a weed whacker. You don't want her feeding this. You don't want her nurturing it. You don't want her to do that. Okay, unless you got hair on her armpits, or hair in her back, or hair on someplace else. We're not allowed to say here. And you want that, then you get this. But if she has hair on her chin, just weed whacker it off. But this is good stuff. I'm making an order tomorrow. Tom, do you want anything?
Do I want anything?
Yeah. Do you need any beard care products?
I'm a little cliche, but I am going to make some products. I did notice a couple of members of my family who are growing the excessive beard, so I'm going to be placing an order and be sending. And look, there it is, my man from Black Sasquatch, Hemp Wizard, Fam Strong. There you go. Black Sasquatch is a proud sponsor of the show as well.
Smell this.
Chef, smells terrific.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
Yep. I'm out. Finally out.
We're gonna get some more together, but let me play this little bitty commercial, and then we're gonna pick up David Lioncourt on the other side. Everybody, stick around. We got a lot to talk about tonight, and we're just getting ourselves started. Hope you guys have had a great weekend. I hope your Father's Day was good, and all of that. So sit back, stand by for 1 sec. Let me figure out this is and play.
Get ready. Get ready. Get ready.
Well, without further ado, let's get him up on the screen. He's new, I think, with the RFL Record family, and we opened up our show tonight with his new single, "The American Scream," and we're proud to have a tremendous vocalist, guitar player, musician on our show. And let's get David Lioncourt right on with Jeff. And all right, David, how are you, buddy?
What's up, dudes? How are you guys?
What's up, man?
Dave, I noticed you got a little bit of the chin whiskers going there. We're going to have to get you hooked up with the boys from Hemp Wizard Beer Care Co. Get you some product you can.
Absolutely.
It's got a little steroid in it. That's how Jeff got the big beard going.
So all I need to do is like a couple applications and I can look like Jeff, right?
There you go.
No.
3 applications.
You need to send a couple fucking T-shirts this way. Then we give you this.
Okay,
then you
all
get
right.
this.
Tit for tat. Got it. Copy.
There's nothing quid pro quo around here, Dave. Quid pro quo. But listen, I know you're newly a father, and you got a little bit of an older child, another son, I believe.
Yeah.
Congratulations and happy post Father's Day for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I got 2 little boys, so I'm absolutely blessed and stoked to have a new little guy in the family.
Well, speaking of family, I know you're part now of the RFL family, and Jeff and I feel that we are part of that family. We've been we do a lot of stuff with Dougie, and of course John and I and Jeff do a show on the weekends during football season.
Nice.
So we feel that we're all part of the RFL family. But tell us about it. How did you get started with John and Doug and the gang, and how do you feel being over there?
So the whole kind of story with RFL, it began, I believe it was like July 6th of 2019. My old band Lioncourt, we were playing at the Whiskey in LA, and Doug was present, and we had never met prior to that. He caught the show, and it was one of those things where like he and I kind of hit it off instantly. He was a big fan of the tunes, the music that I was writing for that band. So he introduced me to John shortly after that. Probably within like 6-7 months after he and I met, he probably introduced me to John. And since then, we've kind of always kept in touch. It's kind of been a reoccurring theme where they like kind of have reached out, kind of seeing where I was at, whether I was open to certain things or not. But, fast forward to now, I'm doing my own thing, just, you're kind of like doing like this solo David Lioncourt gig. So now it just felt like a good time to, join forces and collaborate on pushing this as much as possible.
And listen, and the music sounds great, but now, so why is now the time for you to be out there solo with RFL? What's the difference between that and the time you spent with Lioncourt? Why is now that opportunity?
Everything just kind of came together. Like the guys in the band, we were all kind of moving in different directions in terms of where everybody wanted to go, how everybody wanted to present the band. So it just felt good in the fact that we could all come together and just agree that, hey, you know what, this was fun. But we all kind of want to do, for the most part, everybody wanted to do their own thing. So 2 of the guys, they left and they started a different band. And then the remaining 2 guys that were in Lioncourt with me, they followed me into this project. So now we have 3/5 of Lioncourt is in this band, so I have Stacey Rios on drums and Robert John Ghost on bass. And then I'm taking over all the guitar duties along with singing. So we're going to be kind of coming out as a 3-piece for a while. And then if, throughout time, if we find a 4th guy that can play the guitar in the way that, I perceive is needed, then we might add that dude in. But for the time being, we're just having a good time, playing just straight up hard rock with 3 dudes.
And it sounds great. I love the music. I want to get into it now. what I hear now is very. It's kind of different than what I hear from a lot of the bands that come through the show. But when I go back and I research your start and I see where your influences are, and I if I'm right, you got a big '80s kind of vibe to your youth with bands like Motley Crue and Skid Row. You seem a little young for that. How did you get into those bands?
That was kind of like one of those things where, I was visiting my dad over like spring break, and this was at a time where everybody had the CD collection under like the TV at the entertainment center, right on the little spinny dude.
The little Rolodex type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just
got 4 of them in his house right now.
So I was kind of bored, just hammering out, like looking through stuff, and I pulled out this CD, and I didn't know who this was, and it said Motley Crue on it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, like 13 or 14 years old. So I just threw that CD in, and that was kind of like the kickoff of my love for all things 80s. So, I mean, from then, from Motley Crue to Dokken to Skid Row, Queensryche, Whitesnake, that list goes on. Those are all bands that are that were highly influential for me when I was, learning to play the drums, learning to play the guitar. Mm-hmm. When it came time to doing songwriting, how I play certain phrasing on guitar is influenced by George Lynch, or like, some people will say that they can hear Jeff Tate in certain things I do vocally, or Sebastian Bach or Vince Neil. And it's all true to the fact that all those guys were, hugely influential on me when I was, learning how to do all this.
Wow. And I got to, again, guys, we're talking to David Lioncourt. He's got his new single, The American Scream. We played the video to open the show tonight. And it kicks ass. If you're a fan of the hard rock scene, you got to love this. It's got a little I want to call it a drama rock to it. Where does your songwriting and your songwriting come from? Because it seems like it comes almost from almost a dark place.
That's kind of always been, it's just how the songs come out for me. It wasn't something that I set out to be. It's just, it happens like it was, it's been all organic. I mean, even if you go back and you listen to the stuff that I wrote in Lioncourt, like there's this common thread of like some underlying darkness that, again, for me, it's not something that I'm going to sit down and write this super moody, dark tune. It's just when I write music, that's what kind of comes out. So, I mean, there's definitely the influence of the 80s in there, but there's also the influence of like that early 90s rock, because I was also hugely influenced by, Alice in Chains and Lane Staley. So there's a certain element of that I've kind of like blended, 80s and 90s rock into my own thing. So that's probably where you get some of that. You got the 80s flair, but then some of the attitude and the darkness, the heaviness that was, understated within like 90s rock.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting combination, Jeff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could definitely hear the 80s rock in there without a doubt. And, the 90s, the Alice in Chains definitely has a little bit of an edge to it. The videos that I've seen are a little bit on the darker side, so I can see how you're getting that. The makeup and the stage wear is pretty cool. It's different than what a lot of people are doing today.
Thanks, man.
How far do you feel as though that something like that may carry you? Like, is it going to be a burden a year from now that you were known for maybe the dramatic makeup and the costumes, or are you looking to get away from that anytime soon?
So
in regular clothes. So
basically, that was all. The whole thing with that was the vision that I had for Lioncourt, for that band, for what we were doing then. And I thought that it really it fit well with what I was trying to accomplish. But with what I'm doing now, visually, it's going to be straight up rock and roll. There will be no costumes. There will be no, black makeup everywhere. This is like just straight up hard rock, with rock musicians. So the costume thing won't be a factor. So if you think of Lioncourt, the band, as it was as like, let's say, Motley Crue's Theater of Pain, how I'm going forward now is going to be girls, girls, girls.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Now the references to Motley Crue, I got to challenge it a little bit, only because I love Motley Crue. The records, Motley Crue live is not good. I mean, I've only gone once. I've seen some videos of. I don't find them to be a great live band, but a tremendous band. I love the first couple albums. Just two of the best albums I've ever got to listen to. do you have you gone to see them live? I'm assuming you have, since you're a big fan.
Yeah, I've seen Motley probably like 5 or 6 times.
And I got to ask, have you felt a little disappointed in the what you hear live?
I mean, it is one of those things where you hope that the artists you go to see are going to sound like the record.
Yes.
And I think that everybody at this point has an understanding that Motley is not one of those bands.
Right.
But for me, like growing up and like what they personified to me was such an impactful thing that me personally, like I think that I'll always just give Motley a pass because of how much they influenced me through my childhood, through the dark times, through, making me want to be a better drummer, to, play drums like Tommy Lee, or to write songs like Nikki Sixx, or, to sing stuff that Vince did on Shout at the Devil when his voice was killer,
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we can all agree that, Vince Neil on Shout at the Devil that's like peak Vince Neil, right? Like in terms of his voice, attitude, that for me is like the killer sound of Vince, right?
To me, that's the pinnacle for me for Motley.
Right.
I mean, I love the song "Saints of Los Angeles." There's some stuff after that is not bad. There's some I can listen to, but to me, the pinnacle is "Shout at the Devil." I mean, that is just that's it. I mean, I heard that album. Me and Jeff were in the room together 40 years ago listening to that. I don't think he was thrilled with it, but I absolutely loved it. And we saw them live, and it wasn't great.
Could I weigh in real quick on this?
Please.
Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm sorry, and I don't mean no insult to anybody here, but I think that Motley Crue has to be two of some of the worst musicians I've ever seen, and 2 that are well within the running, but are a little bit better. I think Nikki Sixx has got to be one of the worst bass players. A lot of people say things about Mick Mars. I just don't like him. Vince Neil, I just don't think the man could sing.
Not anymore.
And anybody could do that in the studio. You could put it together in the studio, but you want to impress people live. The stuff that I've seen from you that you can do, I think that you'll be able to pull that off live. I think you will be able to impress people live. I love your music. I think your music is great. I think your voice is great. It very much reminds me a lot of Jeff Tate. But like Motley Crue, I could see being influenced by them, but I just can't get in. I was behind them for a short time when that album came out, and I just can't. I don't know.
No, listen, we all have our opinions and our dislikes, and it doesn't weigh on anything else other than 3 guys having a conversation like we were sitting at a bar talking about it. But
I don't mean no insult, so please don't take it that way.
I'm not insulted. I mean, I think that we can all agree that the statements that you said are accurate, right?
Yes.
Like, can Nikki Sixx play bass? Not really. Like, can Mick Mars really shred? No. Can Vince sing? Well, I mean, in the studio, yeah. We've all seen it. I've seen it live in person.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
For me
Tommy
personally,
Lee may be the best musician.
I think Tommy Lee's the best musician out of the bunch.
But, absolutely. Tommy Lee he's the guy that pretty much, I think saved that band more than likely.
Yeah, and he's more theatrical than anything else.
But it was like some of those things that, for me as a kid that were inspirational, that like gave you that extra drive to want to sit down behind a drum kit and play for 3 hours instead of 15 minutes. So but in terms
the problem was, David, to be honest with you, and first of all, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 38.
All right, so you're not that far behind us, but you're far enough behind us to have seen our music from a different perspective. When the Motley Crue album came out, Shout at the Devil, another album came out real quick right after that, and that was Kill 'Em All. And that's Motley Crue just got run over by a steamroller with Metallica written all over it.
Yeah, dude.
And they didn't stand a chance.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's what happened to Motley Crue as far as like guys in our age bracket were concerned. It was like, oh, look, Shout at the Devil. What's this? It's Kill 'Em All, and here it comes. And
then it was over. Then it was just, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets.
Oh.
And then you have, like Testament coming out with Practice What You Preach.
But listen, we've sat on here and knocked the shit out of Metallica because after first 4, 5, 6 albums, let's call it, there was a steep decline, and they stopped putting out albums every 10 years. We got an album every 10 years, so we can knock Metallica all day too.
Yeah, at least Motley Crue puts out an album once in a while. Metallica goes 10 years without albums, man.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
Yeah, listen. We love the music from that era. We obviously grew up with it. We've seen Queensryche and Maiden and Priest and Black Sabbath. We've seen all the bands, so
Absolutely.
we loved it all. But we're here to talk about you and what you're up to. So let's get back to that. And American Scream. Tell me about it, because I can't figure out what it is. Like what was in your mind when you were putting that song together and then the video?
So for the American Scream, that was kind of one of those songs that it kind of came fairly quickly for me. I mean, for me, when it comes to songwriting, to kind of talk about Metallica again, for me, I use like when people ask me about songwriting, I tell them I use the Metallica method, where it's like I always want to start off a song with a riff, right? So like I'm always a riff guy. Metallica is just as influential on me than anybody else in James Hetfield, in guitar playing. Obviously we all know the power of the mighty Hetfield right hand.
Oh yeah.
So
best downstroke in the business.
Amen to that, brother. So when it comes to songwriting, like I always think of Metallica, like I need to write a riff. Like this riff has to be sick. It has to capture me. So it starts with the riff, everything else goes through. But in terms of lyrically and everything like that, that was all influenced by 2020. All the shit that everybody had to go through, all the things that we all felt, the difficulties that maybe we all had. So that was just basically me kind of penning my frustrations on, where everything was and the time. Just, I try to keep it, not too specific so that anybody can interpret it in the way that they may feel is necessary for them. But for me at the time, that was kind of like where I was at. And so it just all kind of came out like that. So, I mean, I probably, over the course of, I would say like an afternoon, wrote that song and then went in the studio and, played all the guitar parts, all the bass parts, sang everything, and probably knocked that out in like 2.5 hours.
Wow. And Hard Rock and Sports, Jeff and Tom talking with our buddy David Lioncourt. He's promoting not only his new stuff and I'm going to get to what's coming up in the future and his time with the good boys over at RFL Records. And of course, we love RFL and all the bands. I need to get some stuff from Westlake one of these days, but we'll get to that on another show. Tell Jeff Westlake to stop producing other people's stuff and put something out already, guys. But I'll talk to Doug off the air about that. I can't yell at John. He's my buddy. But Dougie, I can yell at. He's a Cowboy fan. That's a whole different. But let me ask you, when you're writing, I'm curious. I love to ask this question to guys like yourself. When you're sitting down, do you sit down to write an album? Do you sit down to write a bunch of songs? And if you're writing an album, is there a theme about it, or do the songs just have to? Is it just a collection of 10 songs or 12 songs? How is it what's your focus when you're writing new material for an album or for a collection of songs?
I mean, I think for all of those scenarios, for me, it's always kind of like the same idea. It's I'm writing music that I want to hear. That's pretty much, that's it. When I sit down and I pick up the guitar, like my goal for myself is to write something that moves me in some way. Like, is this heavy? Does this have a cool riff? Does the melody in the verse capture you? Is the hook super catchy? How much fun am I having, playing it, recording it, performing it, but I mean, it's all about just having a good time. But I thoroughly enjoy just sitting down and picking up, a guitar and again, just starting off with a riff that is like, yes, this is sick. And then, that inspiration you get from knowing that what you're playing is like, dude, this is rad. And then you just kind of just keep chipping away at it until, okay, I had this cool intro riff that's going to go into the, the arrangements go into the verse like this. I'm going to put a pre-chorus. Then we got a hook and then, figure out what you want to do within there. But it's all about having a good time. And again, like I'm just writing the music that I want to hear. I mean, obviously for me, listening to music outside of the 80s and 90s stuff that I grew up listening to, it can be a little more difficult trying to find something new.
Yeah.
That I'm really into.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like what really kicked off the songwriting thing was, well, I'm just going to fill this void because like, this is what I think that hard rock should sound like today. So this is my take on 80s and 90s with this modern twist, So it's like, I'm just writing the music that I want to hear.
I think. Listen, I think it's great, and I see that you've had over 100,000 streams in the new year. So I mean, that's amazing, and I think it's admirable, and I think it's wise. Be yourself, put out music that you love, because you'll be happy doing it, not something that you think other people might want to listen to. Because there's so much stuff in the way. There's so much music out there, and most of it's just fake shit. People throwing up garbage, that you got to get your music through all of that to the right people. And I think you've done that, not only coming here, but of course with the guys from RFL. And you couldn't have better champions in your corner than those guys.
Yeah, they've been great so far. I mean, I've known John and Doug for going on 3 years, and it's been great every time talking to those dudes. So far so good.
Yeah, and you got to cut Doug some slack. I mean, he's got some issues. He's a Dallas Cowboy fan. I mean, listen. I love the guy anyway. He's got a serious character flaw, but we try to look past it and let him come and hang around. But he's still a great guy. We love Dougie here. But so listen. So now that the America Scream's out, the America Scream is out. What's next? Is there full albums coming? Is there more singles coming? I know you guys you go back in the studio in July. I thought I saw on your the podcast last night when you were talking with the boys.
Yes. So basically, what I'm doing now is this weekend I'm actually going to begin filming the official video for the American Scream. So like the full live performance video with all the guys, we'll be shooting that this weekend. Then July 9th and 10th, I'll be back in the studio. I'm going to do 2 more singles to carry me through the year. And then for 2023, I'm still on the fence, but I'm leaning into putting out, like a 10 to 12 song full length record for 2023. I still haven't decided whether or not I want to go all full ham on the record or to continue to do singles, only because with how things are today, singles seem to get more momentum than records do, so it's to be determined. But for the year so far, I've written over 30 songs. I pretty much write a song every time I sit down, so we'll see what happens.
Listen, all this is going on, and poor Tommy's getting shredded by his own buddy there online, man. Wow.
Doug's went right for the Doug went right for the heart, man. That's all right. I can take it.
I let him jump on my coattails, Doug. It's okay. I don't like carrying it.
Unbelievable. So one thing I would tell you, keep up the writing, because it's great stuff, and I love the videos. So how much work is that nowadays trying to put these videos together?
I mean, it's a lot. I mean, I've been DIY from day one, so I'm writing everything myself. I'm doing all the demos in the house myself. Trying to get videographers, people to record it, making contacts. I run all the social media, so it's like it can be daunting, but this is the world we live in, and this is what you got to do if you want to be heard. You can't just put out a song and throw it out there and share it on your Facebook and hope that friends and family are going to care. You gotta put in the work. So it's just a necessary evil, like anything else.
Last one for me before I get you to give me all the websites and social media. You got to go on stage. You got to play one song, one set. What's the guitar you're taking on stage with you?
I'll take one of. I'll probably take my 2014 Les Paul Standard.
Okay, that's the guitar when you're sitting down in the house and you're gonna jam and you're gonna write and just throw out some riffs. That's the guitar you go to. I mean, I have over 15 guitars, so it depends on the day. I might grab an SG. I might grab a Les Paul. Okay.
I got 7 strings in here. I might do some just heavy thrash stuff, or I might just do standard tuning and sit here and play along with Testament. So it just depends.
Well, it's all good stuff. Listen, Dave, do me a favor. Give everybody the website. Give them some social media. Give them some place they can keep up with what you're doing here, because it's great stuff, and we want to get behind you. We want to make sure that we give you all full support. So throw it out there.
All right, my dudes. First off, you want to hit me up on Facebook. It's David Lancourt Official. Instagram, David Lancourt Music. I have a website, davidlancourt.com. Those are the 3 easiest way to keep in contact, to keep up with all the information that's happening, as I post on all those pretty much daily. So thank you to both of you guys. Appreciate you guys taking the time to have me on here. It's been fun. And hopefully you guys don't give Doug too much crap about being a big fan of the Dallas Cowboys.
We love them. And also, guys, you can also go to rforecords.com. I'm sure that there's a lot of stuff up there for David and for all the other artists at RFL. We know we love them all. We try to have as many guys on as we can. We've become friends with some of them, even Doug. So make sure you check out rforecords.com, and of course go to to Dave's website and make sure you guys support this musician. It's great. It's great music, stuff that you will find yourself sitting in the car and driving very fast because it just your foot gets on the gas pedal and you just want to go. And Jeff's right. Your voice is definitely in that Jeff Tate category. It's really great.
That's high praise.
No,
my dad would be proud. Queensryche's his favorite band, so he would be stoked.
I've seen him 4 or 5 times in my life. Jeff's probably seen him more than that.
I've seen him about 10 times.
Yeah, one of my favorite bands. We've had Jeff on the Jeff Tate on the show 3 or 4 times.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, we've been lucky enough in that.
Michael Wilton too. We've also had Michael.
We've had Michael Wilton a couple times.
That's so great.
Yeah, he was a great guy. So yeah, we've been lucky into that end. But listen, Dave, we wish you the best. Good luck on the new stuff. We want you to come back whenever you feel like it. Promote.
Absolutely.
Send us the videos. Even if you can't make it on, send the videos. We'll play them on the show, and we're going to be big supporters of yours. We think the music's great. Don't change it. Go out there and full steam ahead, and keep up the stuff with the 80s rock because that's where we come from.
Absolutely, can't stop, won't stop.
David Lioncourt, thanks for joining us here on the Hard Rock Sports Show. Good luck to you. We'll see you down the road.
See you later, man.
Later, bud.
All right, guys. That's David Lioncourt. He was a nice guy.
Yeah.
Hell of a musician. My God, great voice, Jeff. You nailed it. I thought so. And thanks to everybody out there, Carrie and Doug. Doug, I love you. I break your balls. I love Doug. And Johnny Mahefka and everybody over at RFL. Thanks all you guys for coming around tonight. And Carrie, don't be a stranger. Don't come around just when you have the RFL stuff. Come on. Support. Israel's supporting us now, Jeff. Everybody's got to support us.
Yeah, listen.
14% of the audience.
Honestly, you don't want to come on. You don't have to come on. We got Israel.
We got Israel. That's it. We're good.
I never thought that I'd be standing behind a country such as that.
Well, I mean, they are supporting us, Jeff. Yeah, we're going to have to support
I understand that, and I have to stand behind them. And
so now you're against the Palestinians and you're for the Israels and the Israelites.
I was never really pro-Palestine. You aren't. Not good people. No. No. I'm gonna send you a private chat right now.
You are?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it.
Hold on.
Johnny, thank you, my brother. We love RFL Records, and thank you for setting that up. Sam Bone and Doug and everybody. We love you guys. Thank you. Hold on. I am going to read that. Thank God nobody else can see that but me and you.
I don't think you can say that.
No. But thank you to our supporters. And again, we will not be probably back on with Blog Talk Radio in July. We're going to be switching off, but it's been a nice run. It's been 500 and almost 45, I think 46 episodes. We're coming up on I will hit you up on Messenger later. We're coming up on 8 years on the air. This July 28th will be 8 years. We'll be doing the Jeff birthday show in a couple of weeks. We do that every year, so I'll be looking for some people to get involved in the Jeff birthday show. And, of course, our big anniversary show on July 28th. I'm trying to line up some guests and celebrate being on this air 8 years, Jeff. We're doing this 8 years now.
Wow.
Scary times, my friend. Dougie, I will hit you up on Messenger later. And but
you were so young and supple back then.
Yes, I was a young, eager, naive, staring at a wall while doing the show.
Well,
so, but also, don't forget, we got the Sunday Audible show gearing up. John, Jeff, and myself every Saturday morning, 8 or 9 o'clock. We'll be doing an hour or two every week on the NFL. And, of course, buy your gear. Go to SundayAudible.com and buy your NFL gear through us so we get some credit from the NFL and Fanatics. So go to the NFL. Go to SundayAudible.com and check out our website, and you get a direct link to the Fanatics website, and you can buy your gear with some special discounts. So make sure you do that. So what's up, Jeff? I got a question for you.
I didn't say anything.
I'm just.
I was just letting you go.
Yeah. Jeff, I had somebody talk to me the other day. One of the guys I work with, and he watches the show regularly, and he said, what does Jeff do in his spare time? I said, I think he plays a lot of music. So he says, what does he watch on TV? Does he watch TV? And I said, you know what? I don't think Jeff watches a lot of TV, but if he does, I'm curious if he has a show that he regularly watches. Do you have a regular show that you kind of tune into weekly, semi-weekly?
Yeah, kind of now. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of TV as of late, to be honest with you.
You do?
Yeah, well, I mean, I play a lot of music, yeah. And TV, as far as TV goes, it's rather diverse and kind of gay.
Oh boy! All right, now I
Yeah.
gotta know what is it that
Okay.
Jeff Dolwinski is watching
Well,
on
first
a
of
daily
all,
basis as a guy?
me and the dog,
Yep.
we come upstairs because the dog will no longer go down in the basement. She absolutely refuses to go
Really?
down in the basement. And if I come upstairs,
Mhm.
the dog wants to come upstairs with me.
Okay.
Well, now being that the dog is blind, we can't just let the dog wander around. So we got baby gates throughout the whole entire house. So when I go upstairs, my wife will send me a text of a picture of the dog standing at the bottom of the stairs. She knows where the bottom of the stairs are.
And she's waiting for you.
Come down and get her. So when I bring her upstairs, we'll watch a couple things. So we were watching reruns of Game of Thrones,
Mhm.
but we recently, as in today, got rid of HBO.
Oh, really?
Saved like $40 a month on our cable bill, or whatever it was. So
Okay.
we won't be watching Game of Thrones anymore. That's one
Okay.
thing. We watch Forged in Fire, where these guys go and they do blacksmithing, and they are told to build certain kind of knives and shit like that. So we watch that. Me and the dog. We watched the Incredible Dr. Pole, a vet
Okay.
with questionable practicing from the state of Michigan. Yeah, he's been suspended and all kinds of stuff, and somehow he still has a TV show. And you know, it is what it is.
Mhm.
And we watch Mountain Men, in case we ever want to go out in the wilderness. And Doug, yes, we've met. Me and Tommy have been friends for 40 years. We've met thousands of times over 40 years.
I think he meant with John because I think John hasn't met us yet.
Oh, well, whatever. But you know, it's whatever. We watch a whole bunch of stuff, man.
All right, so you watch a lot of reality TV.
No, it's not reality TV in the sense of that it's actually.
Well, it's not a scripted show, though, right? These aren't scripted
They're all
shows.
scripted shows, man.
Well, I get your
understand
point.
what you're
Yes, I
saying.
get your point. See, I watch a lot of dramas. I watch a lot of police dramas. I watch Blue Bloods. I watch Chicago PD, The Rookie. Those are kind of shows I watch, and I watch a lot of reruns of 2.5 Men. I watch 2.5 Men
can't watch
every
that.
day.
I can't
Oh, I
watch
love
that
it.
anymore. I've watched it so many times.
Oh, me too.
Laughed at it so many times. I just can't watch it anymore.
I do. I absolutely positively love that. Love that
Yeah,
show.
John's coming to New York. I
Hey.
hope I'll stop by and say hello, John.
John, if you're coming in, we're gonna have a barbecue at Jeff's house as soon as you get in.
Oh,
Tell you
really?
flat out. I'll
My
volunteer
house?
at Jeff's house.
Oh shit! All right, that's fine.
No,
You can stay in my shed.
yeah. But yeah, if John's coming to New York, I'm going to see him because maybe one of the chances I get to meet my friend.
You know, I spend a lot of time practicing
I know
because
you-
I just love to practice. I love to play the bass and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I got to be honest with you, the last 2 weeks I've had a hard time playing
Really? Why?
because I feel like I have nothing to play for, Tom. Like I don't have anything really lined up. I don't have any
Right.
anything happening, and it's getting very discouraging.
I hear you.
That
Did anything ever happen with
It
that
is.
other thing that was promised and taken away?
no, nothing yet.
Really?
I don't know. I was told from what I was told, they were going to make a decision after the 25th, and then they added another show.
Oh,
So I don't know what's happening. I do know that there's a good chance
Mhm.
I may release the Hounds.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
Well, you know, once you do that, you know,
It's all right. I don't give a fuck.
you're going to release the
Don't
hounds.
tell me that
I
it's
got you.
right, and then you're gonna dangle it away, and they did it to other people, and
We
you
all
know,
know
it's-
that story. Yes.
I don't understand. I've never once. Listen, that's another story for another day.
I agree. I just,
It is what it is.
I would tell you, I've got the Ujitch again. I played quite a bit lately, and I'm going to be buying I'm doing a little more research on it. There's a really good piece of software to learn music called Musician. I'm sure you must have heard of it. You've seen it,
Yes.
you know. And I've done some research on it, and it seems like a really good, nice program to learn some music and to teach myself to play a little better. So I'm looking forward to playing some more music again.
Well, good.
So
Good. And learn, man. Like I've posted a video of a Prince song that I figured out
I saw it. Very good. I saw it.
On what do you call it? Fucking Instagram. Because God forbid you post it any place else, it gets fucking shut down immediately against copyright infringement. So, but I mean, I don't know. I think I'll always play. It's just a matter of how much am I going to play, because it's very discouraging, and it's, I just want to play and have fun before I get too old and I don't want to do it no more.
Yeah, our good buddy Al Albanese hit me up today. I don't know if you saw. I put you in it. And I see. He said we gotta do another show, and I said I gotta talk Jeff into it.
Whenever you want to do it, man.
So I gotta talk my man into it.
I'm here.
That's not encouraging, Jeff. I need you to be more than just here.
Well,
I like when you're fired up.
Remember the last time we did a thing? There was the cupcake controversy.
That's true.
A little Cuban guy snuck in back doors, took all the cupcakes.
Yeah, that's very true. Our security wasn't good that day.
No, it wasn't. No, security went right over his head. It was Nick Marino in his shenanigans that we're in the middle of, and
we did get dragged into the Nick Marino shenanigans. That's true.
We didn't really know. We knew, but we didn't know.
We didn't know. Yeah.
Like, what's going on? Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
And it is what it is. I don't know. Can we ever capture
the magic?
That magic again? I don't know.
I think we gotta try. I think we gotta try to do what I think the world needs it. I think we need it. I think we need to get out there and do another show down.
You set everything up with Al. All I know is just that, whatever he wants to do, that's fine. I'm not going to his house again to get this all underway. Whatever papers I got to sign, I'll sign out in the parking lot.
All right, guys, boys, Jeff and Tom hanging in there for a little while longer. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you guys have had a great week. We're going to talk a little.
Everybody's asking one another how they're doing. Nobody's asking us how we're doing.
Oh, Carrie asked you earlier. She said, "Hey, Jeff."
Oh, she said hello. If that John don't ask us how we're doing.
I
don't know, man. There's like a little side thing going on here, and we're not a part of it.
Listen. I hope you guys are doing well out there. I know that the prices are high. Gasoline's ridiculous, but don't worry, your boy Joe Biden. Don't worry, he's got it covered. He's going to give us a nice holiday tax, 18 cents. He's a good man.
Oh, he's gonna drop the federal.
Yes.
Yeah. This is what I don't want to get. He wants to drop the tax on the federal tax on gas, right?
Yes.
Which is just a drop in the bucket.
18 cents.
18 cents. Okay, so that means if you spend, you buy 10 gallons, you're going to save $1.80.
Correct.
Is that look out.
Yeah, but here's what they're not telling you. That doesn't mean that the price of gas is not going to go up anyway.
Well, they did that. They did that over here. They took some tax off of it or something like that, like 15 cents, and then they raised the price.
Yeah, so it didn't matter. You still paid.
So it didn't matter. Yeah, so it didn't matter. Yeah. But what I've been doing is that I try to, get my car and truck over there, early in the week, and like once it gets down, I don't even let it get to a quarter tank, and then I put gas in there. It sucks, and no, the American standstill is not going to work in this situation, because if you notice, every single gas station, the price is the same.
Yeah.
When have you ever seen the price of gasoline the same at every single gas station? Sometimes it would be, say, $1.50 here, $1.52 there, $1.48 over here, $1.51 here. Now all of a sudden, gas is the same price everywhere. It's pretty amazing to me.
I don't think it's
amazing. I don't know what's going on with it, but it's amazing.
Well, the one good piece of news, Jeff, is we got a lot of stuff coming up, and we got some. Let's see, I don't know if this is going to show up on there. I guess
it's totally white.
I hit the button. The fat finger's gotten away. Hold on there, Jeff. Hold on. We're going to talk a little bit about this. We got a little pro football coming up. Again, you get here on Thursday, to July 28th. We'll be doing the NFL training camp show. And then right around that, I think that Saturday morning will be the first official Sunday Audible show. We got a lot of football talk to get to tonight. We're going to get to it right now. So let's talk a little football with Jeff. Hey Jeff, Bart Scott, who's a favorite of yours, a one-time Jet, Raven. Oh, by the way, we have to mention that Tony Siragusa, the Goose, died.
Yeah, he did, man. And then on the linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens, Tony Siragusa was a former Raven.
Yep.
And I forget what the guy's name. He was a Baltimore Raven now. I believe he was a second or third round pick, and they found him dead. No sign of any kind of injury or trauma. But two former Baltimore Ravens died within a day of each other, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But Tony Siragusa, he did a lot of banter from the sidelines, if you remember.
Funny guy. Funny guy. The one thing I tell you, I thought the one thing Fox did that I actually did enjoy was when they had Siragusa like in the end zone or walking and being part of the broadcast. First, I thought he was very, very funny. And I also thought he had some really good insight as a former player. Watching some of the big guys, he was kind of like a John Madden-ish type. And nobody's Madden, but he was kind of that kind of guy. And I was kind of sad when they took that away and they took him off the air. I thought he did a nice job. I don't know if you paid much attention to the Goose.
Yeah, of course I remember when he was on and when he first came on, and he was a little bit more on the serious side, and he ended up getting a little silly near the end.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say that. I think they were trying to turn him to something that he wasn't. And they should have just let him be what he was when he first came on, which was, he was reporting. He had a little tongue-in-cheek kind of stuff. And, but just they made him look like too much of a, like it was.
A suit and tie type of guy?
Huh?
They made him into a suit and tie type of guy.
Well,
too corporate, watch what you say.
I remember him like being like almost like stupid, like a fat grunk.
Yeah, he was a frat guy. He was just, he's that guy that when you walked into a Jersey bar, he'd be at the end of the bar having a few beers at the end of the day after being a plumber.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that kind of guy.
Just a shame that he didn't get to stay out on the networks longer. But I got to be honest with you. It seems as though that just as how quarterbacks don't get much in the way of a chance in the NFL, these announcers don't really get, and reporters, sideline reporters don't get very long shelf life either. They either make it or they don't,
Yeah. No, it's not. And Jeff, there's so many opportunities. I was just going to bring it up too tonight that Thursday night show now is an Amazon thing, and they're bringing in the big guns, so to speak. And I heard that their studio is going to be Tony Gonzalez, your boy Fitzmagic is now retired, and Fitzpatrick's going to be part of that, and a couple other players. And I thought it was an interesting. I'd like to find the article and find out who the other announcer is. Hold on a second. It's Tony Gonzalez, the ex-chief, Richard Sherman, who just last year or so was getting arrested for ringing his father-in-law's bell and going to jail and mental issues. But so it's going to be Fitzpatrick, Richard Sherman, and Tony Gonzalez, along with Marshawn Lynch and Fox Sports' Carissa Thompson as part of the studio team on Thursday nights. I say, that's the truth. The problem I have is I really don't care. Like it does. You could, Jeff. You could line up. I couldn't. You could dig up 3 guys from the NFL from the 50s and put them out there, and it wouldn't matter to me. I'm going to watch or I don't watch. None of them are making me tune in.
Well, you know what, Tom? That's not necessarily true. I don't really want to tune in and listen to Joe Buck talk.
I agree. No, you can make me not listen, but I don't find anybody who makes me want to listen.
No, yeah, I hear that. Well, I like Al Michaels. I like to listen to Al Michaels. He has a good football voice. It's somebody that you want to listen to on a Sunday night after you ate. You're relaxing. You got work the next day. Chris Collinsworth. I would not ask Chris Collinsworth to read me the directions if I'm trying to put together something I bought from fucking Kia. The man is a fucking idiot. I'm just tired of hearing his mouth and his voice. He's just an imbecile. When he tells you certain things are happening, and then you watch the replay, and you'll be like, well, what replay was he watching? Because I didn't see any of that happen. Where did he get that from?
Yeah.
And I just don't want to. if he never announces another game, I'd be a happier man. You know,
Yeah.
the good old days with Merlin Olsen and
yeah.
those guys. Those are guys that you knew it was Sunday night, and it was like you were sitting listening to them explaining the game to you as it was going on.
Yeah.
Those are guys that you miss.
Yeah, I would agree with. I see that because it was simple. It wasn't. They were telling you what you see, not
Who was
what.
it that was with Merlin Olsen? What was the guy's name?
It was. Hold on, I can see his face.
Not Bob. Not Bob.
No, not Kirk Gowdy. It was. Oh my God, I can see the guy's face.
Yeah. So can I? I'm gonna have to look it up. Go on, keep going. I'll find it.
Yeah, see if you can find that. I'm trying to remember. He just retired not too long ago. Anyway, so he might have. I'm not sure about that. Anyway, listen. I don't tune in for it either way. First, I started with the Goose. So Terry Saragoose was a good football player. Hated him as a Raven, but he was a good guy on the sideline. And it's gone way too young. 55 years old. Gone way too young. His father, I think, died at 48 of a massive heart attack. So I guess the family has some issues that way.
Yeah, not good, man.
But then Gronk, I'm going to bring up Gronk retires.
Thank God.
Yeah, listen. I am not the biggest Gronk guy in the world. I mean, the guy's got the rings. He's got plenty of catches. He's going to be a Hall of Famer someday. For me, Jeff, I don't know how you feel. I never had him as like
Dick Enberg.
Dick Enberg. That's it. Exactly right. Yes, Dick Enberg. I never had Gronk at the top of my tight end list. I'm trying to think about it today. Like, who would be my top 5 tight ends? He would probably make it, but he wouldn't be in the top 3.
I just did not like Gronk for obvious reasons.
Well, you hate the Patriots and Brady.
I like the Patriots and everything else. And the one thing that I did not like about Gronk that made him unbearable to even listen to his name being announced was his frat boy image that he portrayed for how many years? Like, the drunken man that just went out and played and was able to run over everybody no matter what he was doing.
Yeah,
that got so old with me so quick.
Yeah,
I hated that stuff.
He never seemed hasn't seemed to grow up yet.
Well, I mean, it was obvious that it was a role that he was doing. He was doing it on purpose, and come on, man, stop. Just fucking go out there and play football, man.
Yeah,
don't act like an imbecile and.
It almost acted like he didn't like playing the game. It's almost like it was in the way. You're right, John Dickenberg. Jeff just picked it up too. Yep.
Oh, I don't know if that was the case because I mean the game certainly made his life worth living. I'll say that much.
Oh, absolutely.
But everything that he did outside the game, which is what looks stupid, with the way he acted in commercials and TV, and come on, man, just act fucking normal, like because now you're grown up. It looks stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what? So let me ask you this question. Could you give me your top, 1, 2, 3 tight end quarterback duos? Oh, I'll give you mine just to give you my top 3. Fouts and Kellen Winslow. I think that was one of the best. Stabler and Dave Casper. I thought that was definitely there. And then my favorite, my number 3, and Gronk and Brady right behind this, but Sims to Bavaro. I thought Bavaro was one of the better tight ends. Just got a little hurt after 6 years, but Sims to Bavaro in the 80s was huge. It's just a favorite. That's how I look at it. Top tight ends would be Ozzie Newsome would be there, Gonzalez would be there, Winslow would be there, 100%, John. But Jeff, could you nail that down?
Yeah, like I remember watching Gronk and Tony, what was his name? Hernandez.
Tony Gonzalez.
Aaron Hernandez.
Oh, Aaron Hernandez.
When they were playing with the Patriots, and I was like, these guys are basically unstoppable. Mm-hmm. And there was no way to counteract them. They just had one on each side of the field.
It was called Eli Manning. Eli Manning stopped them.
Eli Manning did nothing on the field to stop them.
Eli Manning put a stop.
Eli Manning did nothing on the field to stop him. He was an offensive player.
Eli Manning.
Never on the field. The only time he was on the field is when he stepped on the field with his mouth hanging open because he shouldn't have been there. They had to push him back over the line.
You say that they were unstoppable, but Eli found a way to stop them. That's all.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
You know who was a good tight end? And the Jets had a really good one back in the 80s, and Mickey Shula. I was a big fan of Mickey
Mickey
Shula.
Shula was good. Yeah, he was good. But, because he was on the Jets, they just never got a chance to sign.
Yeah.
I think Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes is an unbelievable duo.
Yeah.
But it seems as though that it's the same play that they run nonstop.
And they never get stopped.
No, they never get stopped. But then it's almost like what's coming, and it's the same play right over the middle, and bang. It's right there.
Yeah.
The tight end is kind of a thankless job, thankless position. Unless you're a real standout, it's a thankless position.
Yeah. No, listen, it's one of those guys where you can spend the whole game getting beaten up. This is back in the 80s when tight ends were tight ends, or 90s, even the early 2000s when tight ends had to block and give themselves up sometimes.
Keller was a decent tight end for the New York Jets too.
Sure.
But his career got cut short because of that knee injury, man. I've looked up that knee injury on TV, on YouTube, and I can never really ever caught the hit.
Oh, really?
That destroyed his knee, and he never really played again after that. I think he came back the following season, but that was it. He was done.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some really good tight ends. I mean, the Cowboys, a couple errors had Billy Joe Dupree, Doug Cosby, even what's his name that just retired? What's his name? The Cowboy tight end that just retired. Oh man, I can't think of it. But listen, I think it's a tough spot. I don't think Gronk. He's a Hall of Famer. He's going to get in the Hall of Fame someday. He's got 4 rings. He's got tons of records. I don't think he's done. I think he comes back. To be honest with you, I still think he's back, whether it's this year or next year. I think at some point, if there's room there and they're headed toward the playoffs and he can catch a late season and playoffs, I think he shows up.
Yeah, Shannon Sharp was another good one. Yeah.
See, to me, Shannon Sharp was more of a tight. He was that first guy who was more of a split him out, stand him up tight end. Todd Christensen had a couple good years with the Raiders. Then tried to become an actor and was horrendous. But Shannon Sharp was a great receiver. To me, he was more of a wideout than he was ever a tight end. But listen, Hall of Famer nonetheless. So good pickup by John. So yeah, there's been some great ones over the years. So we just nailed that. Let's see. Your boy Deshaun Watson, Jeff. Big week for Deshaun.
Yeah, I hear that.
20 of 24 cases have been settled. I'm assuming that means a large payout was in order.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Sorry, folks. We're having a private conversation that you definitely don't want to know. But your boy, the rumor is that the NFL is going to give him a year vacation, Jeff.
Yeah, that's fucked up, man. It really is. It really is.
What's happening on your side of the screen, or that he make it a year vacation? Both of it. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. I'm still going to go against you on this one. I think he's getting exactly what he deserves.
I will say,
yeah.
If he gets suspended now
for a year,
he's now proving that something happened. Proving that something happened because all of a sudden now 20 of the 24 cases have been settled out of court.
Right.
I firmly believe now that they should find out what happened and release the findings and let us know exactly. Maybe you don't have to release the names.
We're talking about the NFL's investigation.
Whoever.
Well, the only one that matters at this point, I mean, he's not going to criminal trial, so he's got a couple civil cases to go to trial, which would be 4 people. I don't know if it's one big case or 2 separates or 4 separates.
And not for nothing, if you're going to look to bring any kind of a case against somebody, the last thing you should be known as is anonymous or whatever. Your likeness and everything should be displayed. Just like he's going to be embarrassed and shit. But it doesn't matter because he'll take the year off. He'll end up playing. When he comes back, they'll forget all about it after week 2 or 3.
But if you're the Browns, you're getting a quarterback who hasn't played in 2 full seasons. If he gets suspended a full season, it's 2 years since he stopped the football.
Tom, listen. It's not my problem.
No, I agree with you. I'm not saying it is. I'm happy for the Browns that they're going to go through it.
Why? Okay, if you're dumb enough, to have made the trade, when you didn't know what was going to happen, Two, take on somebody that may I got to give credit where credit is due. I said all along, why is he going to get suspended? Nothing has been proven. Okay, but now him paying people off proves that something has happened. You're not just going to give money to people. Okay, you willingly traded for this guy and traded a lot for this guy.
Oh yeah, you gave up 3 number 1 picks, right?
So now if he doesn't play in 2 years, this is going to be reminiscent, and it's a reminiscent of, but completely different of when the Major League Baseball players would be out of action for 2-3 seasons because they were serving their commitment for the country in World War II.
Right.
But this guy here sat out willingly 1 year and now is going to be suspended for another year. This is the game of football. He may never respond back in a positive way.
Oh, agree.
And let Carrie, please say what you want. Well, let's hear what you have to say.
Carrie, I agree. And Jeff, I'll say it one step further. If the NFL does an investigation and feels that there's enough information here to warrant a suspension, that he actually was a predator, and that's what you have to call him. Carrie called it right. He's a predator. He should not be allowed back in the league again. Technically,
I'd argue that.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this isn't a one-time incident or was a misunderstanding, and I'm all for people getting rehabilitated. But if, this is 24 that we know of, I guarantee there's more out there.
I'm sure there's more out there, but my question is this. If there's more out there, I'd imagine they would all been crawling out of the woodwork at this point in time.
You would
That's
think.
one thing. Second of all, if they're all out there, right, if there's 24 out there and he paid 20 of the 24, how many of them have a legitimate gripe? Because maybe it just came down to, you know what? He's not giving each one $1 million. Okay, you know that already.
I don't know. I didn't see the numbers, but
we didn't see the
original. The original was, I think, something like $100,000 per person.
So he's not giving each one $1 million. So even if he has to pay somebody, and unfortunately, Carrie, you're right, and that's pretty much what I was going to get at. That he may be paying people that have nothing to do with anything, and it's just there to try to get the money. And he's just like, you know what? Just give him as $100,000. He just signed $235 million contract.
$230 million contract.
So $200,000 for him or $2 million for him is really no big deal at this point in time. To get everything out of the way and let's just start fresh. So is that a possibility that he's paying people that maybe he didn't even meet in his lifetime?
But you know what? I agree with that to a certain extent. Here's what I'd say. I'd like to think if I was if that was me being accused and I knew I was completely innocent, I would go to the mat with all my money and fight for my name, because you can say a lot of things, Jeff, and this will get settled and he'll get suspended and he'll come back, but he will forever be known for this in his lifetime.
Nope.
Yes, absolutely.
Nope. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I prove it. Okay, I'll prove it.
Yeah.
One, it's never been proven in a court of law exactly what happened, and probably at this point in time never will.
Probably never will. I agree with that.
So that's one thing right there. Two, I'm going to give you a name. Okay, that went through something similar and came back and was one of the most revered and loved players as soon as he came back. Michael Vick. Okay, Michael Vick, who went through dog fighting, killing dogs, burying dogs, this, that, and the other thing, all this disgusting shit. They opened up their arms, welcomed them back, and let the man play and start in 2 different cities. One of them being New York, the other one in Philadelphia. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to invite him for everything under the sun, but Michael Vick was definitely welcome back. And Deshaun Watson, he's going to make the league money. And he's going to a big market team, semi-big market team in Cleveland. They're going to bring him back, and they'll allow him to come in and play.
Carrie, the only thing I'll disagree with you, Carrie, on the Tiger Woods thing is Tiger Woods did not rape anybody, was not accused of doing anything wrong.
Deshaun Watson was never proven. The word rape.
I'm not saying that, but there's 2 different things. Deshaun Watson was accused, at least. He was accused.
Actually, I'm sorry, sexually harassed.
Right. But Tiger Woods never was accused. Tiger Woods just had a bunch of affairs. Nobody accused of him any wrongdoing other than his wife. And again, what he did was completely wrong. I'm not disagreeing with it. But Deshaun Watson was basically a quarter step from being a rapist. and doing that on to 24 counts, that's a serial crime. Again, Jeff, to your point, I agree with you.
I agree.
I agree with you that he wasn't convicted, but that's
but
being able to prove is tough.
Last time we talked about this, he wasn't convicted, and he still hasn't been convicted. But the difference between this time and last time is he wasn't paying women to go away.
Correct.
Be quiet. That's a big difference. Now you're admitting that something happened, and now you're like tongue in cheek about it. Well, something happened, but we can't really talk about that no more. But it's going to go away now because I'm taking my wallet out, and that's basically what's happening.
No, I agree. But there are still 4 women who refuse to take his money and want to go
They
out.
just haven't, Tom. They just haven't hit the right dollar amount yet.
And maybe you're 100% right. And you know what? I say this. I think it's despicable, and I think that they should get their day in court and be able to go out there and say what they think happened and try to prove it.
They already proved that he's not going to criminal court. So even if they go to civil court, you know what? His lawyers, he has enough money to fight to have the case sealed and all this other good shit because he's a celebrity with a lot of money, and he'll probably be able to do something of that nature, and then you'll never find out what happened, where it happened, what these people's names are, who they are, what they look like, nothing. And then next thing you know, he writes a check for $2 million and they go away. Vince McMahon got caught writing a check for $3 million. So it could happen. There's going to be big money tossed around it.
No, I agree. This is not over, and all that. And he's going to get suspended, and he's not going to lose a lot of money because this year's only worth $1 million. But I think that when he does show back up and the Browns get him as a quarterback, forget about anything off the field. His simple on the field stuff, it's not going to be the same. And not that I ever thought he was a great quarterback anyway. I never thought the allure of Deshaun Watson as this great NFL quarterback, I never saw it. I don't think he's terrible, but I don't think of him as an elite quarterback. If you sat there and with me and we put together a list, I don't think he'd wind up in our top 10.
Oh, you know what? It's a different story now, Tom. People have retired. We had said that when the original Elite 5 retire, who's going to take their places? And there's been people. If this guy played without any problems, he played last year, just didn't work out in Houston. Now he got traded to Cleveland. If he played well, he goes to Cleveland, he plays well. He very well may be a top 5 quarterback in the league because to me,
default?
That is possible by default. It's possible because who's the top 5 right now?
Oh, I can give you 5 that are better than him in what I even think.
Right now that have played.
No, I'm giving you Brady. I'm going to give you Rodgers. I'm going to give you Mahomes. I'm going to give you Josh Allen. Right off the bat, there's 4. I'm going to put Stafford ahead of him right now is 5. There's 5 right now, top of my head, that are much better than him. Carrie, was it actually rape inappropriate?
I have to go. I got to use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Oh, God. Here we go. Listen, I got to read that. Guys, Hard Rock and Sports, Jeff and Tom hanging in there. We do this every Thursday night, 7 to 9:30. Hope you guys come back every week and help us do this. Again, we got some milestones coming up. Jeff's birthday show's coming up second week of July. His birthday is actually the 10th. So we will celebrate somewhere around there. And then, of course, July 28th, we celebrate 8 years on the air. Try to get some past guests on the show and have some fun on July 28th. And then, of course, remember, guys, July the 30th will be the very first official show for the Sunday Audible when John, Jeff, and myself get together and we do our thing on a Saturday morning, changing the show this year to get Jeff involved. Saturday mornings at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. We'll kind of weigh at the time and bring you our unique analysis on the game of football. So stick around. There's still plenty more. Yeah, John, I agree with you. Burrow, Justin Herbert. I tell you what, I take Derek Carr over him right now. He's not making my top 10, and they paid him an awful lot of money, and I don't get it. And, Carrie, to me, whether or not he penetrated anybody, attempted to penetrate anybody, he put 24 women in a bad spot that they didn't ask to be put in. And for that, that's to me, it's not once, it's not twice. This is somebody who's a predator. And I think for that reason, he should be I think he should be out of football. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm all for rehabilitating people, but this guy should not be rewarded with a $230 million contract. And I think the Browns have done themselves and the fans a disservice by bringing this guy on, Jeff. And I'm not going to go. I'm not going to get away from it.
I agree. As far as Carrie's question, I don't know what you answered. I didn't hear the whole thing, but I've never once yet heard the word rape used.
Yeah, me either. Yeah.
So it's been sexually harassed.
Correct.
So I guess if you're pulling your willy out and you're showing it to somebody that doesn't really want to see it, Schweiker.
Pull out your Schweiker,
if you will. If you're pulling your Schweiker out,
is there a difference between Schweiker and Schween? Is it like a size thing, or is it just terminology?
I don't know. The word
like Schweiker
has been presented to me a few years back. We kind of filed it away. The person that presented that word to me a while back is no longer with us. They're gone. And I used the word Schweiker in remembrance of him.
Okay. And John brought up Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. Those are guys who are the better quarterbacks than him. And I said right after, I thought I'd take Derek Carr over him.
Well, here's the thing. As far as Deshaun Watson. You got to remember the team that he played on and what he did with that team. Now, I'm not going to get into a debate of who's better, who's not, this, that, and the other thing right now. But, okay, he was playing on some subpar teams,
right?
The Houston Texans. He's also played, did not play last year and this year. So let's see what happens when he does come back.
Right.
Because I got a feeling that he's going to be a bust yet, John. I think you're right.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to argue that fact. But when he comes back, it's going to be, he sat for 2 years. Look what happened now. And the guy's playing well. And for somebody that hasn't played in 2 years, that's what you're going to hear now. The guy comes out, he's playing well. For somebody that hasn't been on a football field in 2 years, he's gained 40 pounds. He hasn't been on a field in 2 years.
Yeah.
He can't throw the ball for 15 yards. He hasn't been on a field for 2 years. Or he may just totally immerse himself and keep himself in top shape. And you don't know. You don't know what kind of Deshaun Watson you're going to get when he comes back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
All I know is that Cleveland's paying for him, and they made a bad move that way, I feel.
Yep, I would agree with you. Hard Rocket Sports, Jeff and Tom, hanging out on a Thursday night with you guys. Lots to talk about. We still got a few more things. For a few more times, I want to thank David Lioncourt for joining us tonight, and all the people, Carrie and Doug and John and everybody else who popped in tonight. Will, it's a lot of fun doing this when we have some people interacting with us. Jeff's always a big fan, and thank you to our good friends in Israel who have now made it 15% of our audience is in the motherland, Jeff's motherland. So we thank
motherland, bro.
Well, you got the beard, the whole bit. You kind of look like the Smith Brothers guys. So I got to put you in there as the motherland, Jeff.
I do have to stray a tad.
You do?
Well,
go ahead.
I asked you to watch a video earlier for a reason.
You did. Go ahead. I did get to watch it. I did not pay attention as much as I should have to it.
No. Listen.
Go ahead.
The point of the video is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I asked you to watch the video was something completely different.
Okay.
I asked you to watch the video because I found it entertaining. I think you will too when you watch it.
Okay.
But it was a video with Mike Tyson.
Okay.
Something that we've never done that I would love to do for next week.
Which is
I want you to give me, and I will bring mine.
Okay.
Your 10 best athletes.
Ooh, oh wow.
Okay. We've never done this before. We've done best baseball players, basketball, football, best quarterbacks.
Wow.
Shit. I want you to give me your 10 best athletes.
Wow. That's a tough list.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun list, but that's a tough list. Okay, I got you. I penciled it into next week's script already. Yeah, John, you got to go for it. Love to know.
We'll talk off the air about John and his 10 best because they'll all be Pittsburgh Steelers, so they can't. I don't know.
Let's say we finished with that. Hey, just a big note. I don't know if you saw it today, but Arch Manning, another Manning, has made it into the college ranks. He's supposed
Who
to
does
be.
He belong to?
He's Cooper Manning's son. And he's the next big talent. If this kid makes it, think 3 generations and 4 different players will make it to the NFL from one family in at the same position. That is kind of amazing.
It is, but you know what? Only one of them really had
Okay.
a
Here we
historic storied career.
Here we go. Yeah.
Oh no, hold me, hear me out, please. Archie Manning,
Yeah.
back for the New Orleans Saints for years,
Correct. Hell of a ball player.
and couldn't get them past last place. Okay, but yet, you know what? They were on TV all the time. I remember.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, I never forgot that.
Yeah. I loved Archie Manning as a kid. Loved him.
Then Peyton Manning came into the league.
Yep.
Okay,
One of the best
That
of all
old-
time.
set all kinds of records. Probably the greatest quarterback of all time.
That's arguable. I still will take the Tampa Tom, but
No.
I'm not too far off with that
No.
one. Go ahead.
Then Eli came in the league.
And really exploded with his 2 big Super Bowl W's.
He exploded like a big lobe. That was it.
That was
Okay.
it.
The guy was horrible. 500 quarterback. Happened to be on 2 teams that won the Super Bowl.
It just happened by accident.
Thank you for using
Yeah,
Blog
I would
Radio.
say by accident. Yes.
Just simply by accident. Yeah, I
Okay.
got
And
pretty sure you're misguided.
please, I'm in the middle of
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of this. Please, thank you.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay. So you have 2 of the 3 that are kind of subpar players.
Mm-hmm.
So Peyton was the only one that was able to elevate the family name.
Oh, okay.
With 2 solid wins as a quarterback in the Super Bowl. Actually, didn't he win 3 Super Bowl? No, 2. He won 2, right?
Yeah, he went to 3.
Mhm.
Yeah, Peyton. Yeah.
Yeah. Peyton.
Yeah.
Peyton carries the family name. That's what I say. Well, you could say whatever you want, Tom. You don't want to. You don't want.
All I know is my boy Eli is being fitted for the gold jacket right now.
Oh,
Eli will be in the Hall of Fame in 3 more seasons. And yeah, I got you. Yeah, you wear your hat. You can put your hat or a fake hat on. Now you doubling up on the hat tonight?
Have to.
Oh.
Have to.
All right, let's see what else we got. So Arch Manning going to Texas. I was surprised. I thought he was going to go to Ole Miss, and I thought he was going to go to LSU, but looks like he settled on Texas, so should be interesting. I'd love to follow. The kid's had a great high school career, if you want to put that way. And Carrie, I'd love to meet your dad if he was throwing TVs out the window over a Steelers game. I'd love to meet your dad. Sounds like a fun guy. Let's see. We did this one. We did Deshaun Watson, Arch Manning to there. We did all that. Let's see, Jeff. What else do I want to get to tonight? Oh, well, here's one. I mean, we started talking about Bart Scott says that all defensive players that he knew in his era never wanted to play, would rather play Tom Brady than Peyton Manning.
Tom Brady didn't pay man. Yeah, because Tom Brady was a bitch.
I think I disagree with that. While I love Peyton and the guy was phenomenal, the guy lost a lot of big games. You know, as much as I like Peyton, and I think Peyton, I followed him from Tennessee straight through the NFL. Peyton, there was a lot of games he just didn't show up.
Peyton Manning?
Yeah, big games.
No way.
John's calling somebody a total bitch. I think he's calling you a total bitch. I'm actually believe he's saying it to you.
I doubt that. Doubt that. We're on the same page, man.
You are on the same page?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, that's scary.
Brady, I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
John, you gotta go with it, John, sometimes. Hey, how about Russell Wilson? I don't want to talk about Russell Wilson. So, Jeff, 9 different quarterbacks were picked in this draft this year. Oh, I am very sorry to hear that, Carrie. I'm very sorry to hear that.
Oh, man, wow.
It would have been nice to meet your dad if he was that into football. My kind of guy.
My uncle died of that.
Huh?
My brother's brother.
Yes.
Not of brain cancer, but of liver cancer.
And we should mention that your cousin Robin's mom passed away.
Yeah.
So just thought I'd mention that on the air. So everybody, we send Robin our condolences. Let's see. So Jeff, 9 quarterbacks got drafted in the draft. Anybody think it will start this season?
Maybe the kid in Atlanta. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
I think there's a chance that Sam Howell, who got drafted by, I think, the Carolina Panthers, has a half a chance to start.
It's possible, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be something. That's a question I'm going to be asking you in the near future, Jeff. We're going to have that conversation. I'm sorry. I'm thinking I'm going to. Sam Howell was drafted by the Washington Communists. He'll be fighting Carson Wentz for a job. That's an interesting conversation, you know. And I hope their coach, by the way, gets fired real quick. I despise Riverboat Ron Rivera. I hope he gets fired tomorrow.
He very well may.
Yeah, they have another season to start like that. I have no use for that guy. That is the woke culture in street shoes.
There's no need for this in sports, man. It really isn't.
No, it should never be here. I'll give you another one, Jeff. Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, whatever, how you want to refer to her. I know you like to refer to her.
Stop right there.
Go ahead.
The person's name is Bruce Jenner.
Okay, that's fine. I respect your thought on that.
Bruce.
Okay.
Jenner.
Well, Bruce or Caitlyn or however you want to.
No. The man's name is Bruce Jenner.
Okay. All right.
Bruce.
All right. I respect it. You respect when I call them the Washington Communists, or we used.
Well, that's because that's how you feel, and I want to ask you to change it differently. I'm not calling him any other name.
Okay, I respect you for it, but I'll give Bruce a lot of credit. We all know Bruce Jenner came out a few years back and to tell everybody that he likes to dress as a woman and wants to live his life as a woman. And again, doesn't affect me.
Possesses a Schweiker, though.
I believe he still has possession of the Schweiker.
Yeah.
I do not believe he's gone the full route.
No, but however far he's gone is too far.
Okay, so there was a ruling by one of the governing bodies in international amateur sports that if you're born a man or born a woman and you are that past the age of, unless you've made the move, I want to say it's either 12, 14, or 15. If you haven't made the move by then to make the change, but basically before puberty, if you make your move before that, they will allow you to swim or participate in the sport for your chosen, I guess that's the best way, your chosen gender. But people like Leah Thomas and some of these people who have now waited till they were nearly 20, in their 20s or 30s, they're saying they are no longer allowed. They are not allowed to participate.
Well, they shouldn't be.
And I thought it was huge for Bruce Jenner to come out with that, you know, being that he's been this face of this movement, so to speak. But he was very realistic. He said, I have no interest in seeing that. I don't think it's fair. And I applaud that. I applaud people
because that's
who see both sides of the story.
That's a person that still is in possession of his Schweiker.
Right.
And it hits home a little bit. And he realizes that, yeah, we can't do this. And this is a man that was on the box of a cereal that won gold medals in the Olympics, that was looked up to by the world for his accomplishments in the Olympics.
Yeah.
And listen, it is what it is. He's proven what he is, and that's the way it should be. Now, if the ages that you mentioned are correct, here's my next question to rebut that.
Go ahead.
Okay? Let's just say that you have to make this switch by the time you're 12.
Yep.
What the fuck does a 12-year-old know? And what is a 12-year-old experienced so that 12-year-old realizes that they're in the wrong sex?
No, now again, I'm with you. To me, no human being should be
15. What is that person at 12, 14, or 15 experienced in life that they know that they got to chop stuff off or have stuff sewn in?
Now, the governing body was very clear. They were not advocating for people to make the change or make the change at that late. They're just saying is if you haven't done it by then, and they don't advocate for it, but if you hadn't make the change by then, they're saying once you reach puberty, you know, it's a whole different ball game. But I agree with you. I agree with you.
But my thing is simply this, okay? If you're a person and you say to yourself at a very early age, say in grammar school, 12, 13 years old, and you see another boy and you're like, oh, I'm attracted to that. I think that I'm gay. That is one thing. I could see a 12, 13-year-old being confused and understand why he may get all excited over fucking Bill in the other fucking 8th grade class.
Right.
But I can't understand why he would go home, and what parents would say to a 12-year-old, okay, let's go to the doctor and have this.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. To me, that's, I don't know. Listen, to me, you hate to put restrictions on people, but I would say that nobody should be allowed to have that surgery till at least got to the point of what we consider to be an adult. So before 18 years old, you should not be allowed to do any of those things. I read an article in the Post the other day where there's a bunch of people who've made that transition and now trying to make the transition back because they made a mistake.
Yes, I saw that same article. I could see maybe you wanting to explore that, starting to explore that around 16,
Yeah.
you know, when maybe you understand things a little bit more. But even at that, you know, these other people made the decision to make the switch, and now they're like, I cut this off. I did that. That can't be first.
Yeah.
And I've ruined my life because of it. And there's going to be a lot of other people that are going to have that same thought.
Oh, absolutely. And I think a lot of, and Jeff, I'm sorry, I think a lot of what you're seeing with that is people, young kids who are being influenced by others around them and what they're being told in school and social media. And I think that your brains aren't function, they're not function. Listen, I was 16, 17, 18 years old. I can't even, I want to shudder at the things I thought and did at that point. That if I was a little older, I would have went, I will never do that if I was, 5 years older or 10 years older. So to me, that's a big step, but I don't think any of this stuff should be taught in high school, should not be spoken about in those years.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. And I think
it has, because you know why? Because at that point in time, it could be construed as you were persuading someone to think that way and to head in that direction.
Yeah.
Okay. If you came up to me and you turned around and you said, all my life, I haven't been comfortable with who I am. And like, well, what are you talking about? And then, wow, here it is. Like, well, that's a heavy burden to have carried for so many years and everything else. But if this is how you feel now and you tell me that this is what's going to make you happy, you've had plenty of time to think about it. You've led a whole life.
Yeah. And
now you're like, but that life wasn't for me. I did it for other people. I did it for this. I did it for that. But now I'm going to do it for me. That's another story.
Yeah.
But to even say the ages at 12, 14, 15, and not you, but this governing body that even said that, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, I mean, I understand their point. They're saying they have no control. Here's what they're saying. We have no control over when somebody's legally allowed to make that transformation.
I understand that, but I'm just talking on a moral level. I'm talking about
okay, that's yes.
How could a 12-year-old, a 14-year-old, or a 15-year-old make a lifetime decision where they say, I'm going to change sex now?
I agree with you.
I just don't feel comfortable as the person I am.
Agreed. But what they're saying is that that's not to be dictated by them. What they're saying, though, is if you do make that decision and you want to compete in sports, if it's not done before you hit puberty, we can't allow you to make the transition. So I agree with you. We shouldn't be talking about 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old kids thinking about making a transition to something that right now their bodies are changing and going through stuff that they have no idea what that is. And to allow them allow them to do that, to me, if you're a parent and you let your kid do that at 14, 15 years old or identify, I'm sorry, I think there's something screwy wrong with you and you should be put away. But I also applaud FINA for stepping up and finally somebody coming up and going, guys, we cannot let people who are men, participate or compete in women's sports and applaud them for beating up
for winning.
Yeah, for winning. And I'm not knocking women athletes. I'm just saying there's a definite difference between a woman athlete and a male athlete in each sport. You cannot tell me that a professional women's basketball player is going to compete at the men's professional level. It's just not possible.
Listen, let's take the best female basketball player, okay?
Yep.
From the women's league.
Sue Bird. Let's say Sue Bird.
I don't even know the names, to be honest with you, Tom, because I don't follow it, okay? Yeah. I don't have any interest in it. But let them play. Put them in their prime, up against Michael Jordan in their prime, or Kareem in their prime, or fucking LeBron in their prime, or what's his face? Man, what was the other guy the one that Kobe Bryant in his prime? Okay, and then you tell me, and you could spot the woman 10 points and 12 wins, and I guarantee you the man will win 12-10, because it just there's no difference on certain levels, and athleticism, I believe, is one of those levels. A woman could think the same as a man without a doubt. A woman could train, but I just think that the man's body being bigger and stronger, the man would be able to do better.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, 100%.
And to put a man in a woman's league on any level just isn't fair to the women that invested the time to hone that craft. It's just not right.
Yeah, I think there's limited opportunities for women in professional sports and even some college sports, and I don't believe that somebody who has lived their life as a man, has trained as a man, should be allowed at that point to take that opportunity from a woman. I just don't believe in it. And again, I'll still go back to
I watch women's softball once in a while.
Okay,
and I've watched men's softball in the parks when I'm at work, and we've all watched baseball. Okay, now women's softball players, I've seen the way that they've underhanded and that thrown the pitch. And they could pitch.
No, it's a guess.
I wouldn't be able to do that, not without throwing my arm out.
Right.
But I don't think that same woman. I don't think you can hand her a baseball and say, "All right, go ahead, get up there." And here comes Aaron Judge and Stanton and a few others, and you got to strike them out. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah. Listen, yeah, it's different. The mechanics are different. I know now that the Staten Island Ferry Hawks, the old Yankee team, they have a woman player who plays regularly there. I know women's getting into coaching, and I have no problem with that. Listen, if I don't care who it is, women, men, if you're good enough and you're there for the right reasons, go for it. I'm all for it. I just have a hard time. I actually like to see the woman who plays for the Staten Island Ferry Hawks, to see how she competes. Is she really, is she being given an opportunity because she's a woman, or because she's really a good athlete and a hell of a player, Jeff? That's the question.
Probably because she's a woman.
I'm betting it. I'm betting it. I've yet to see the female baseball player who I think could compete, and they've tried for years. They've tried for years.
You say about women in the coaching ranks.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem necessarily with women working within the coaching ranks. I have a problem with women reaching a certain level of certain
and trying to teach.
Exactly. Trying to teach men how to play better in a position that they themselves
it's a tough spot. Yeah, it's a tough spot.
They could have the knowledge, but if you've never done it before.
Yeah, that's a big. I agree with you on that.
I never see a woman being a quarterback coach.
Well, that's just it. How do you teach somebody mechanics and then I've never seen a woman throw a ball more than 30 yards in my life. When you're out there.
The mechanics is one thing. The woman could get the mechanics down, but the woman has never been chased by a 330-pound man.
Correct. She's never.
And even if the 330-pound man was able to catch her, okay, she's never. Would she even be able to walk away from getting hit by a 330-pound man?
Well, there's different parts of that. Again, whether they can physically.
I know we're older, but I know that if either one of us put us in a situation where we were a quarterback and we got hit by a 330-something pound guy, angry and full of fucking, pissed off because he hasn't gotten to the quarterback all game, and you have your back turned, and here he comes.
Yeah.
He's not showing you any fucking mercy.
Cleaning your clock.
None. You clean your clock. When you wake up, even atomic clocks will be out of style. He's going to fucking destroy you.
Uh-huh.
And we would never be able to tell somebody, listen, this is what you got, because we are fucking Monday morning quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
That's all we are.
Yep.
Yeah, we played the games and stuff like that, but come on, playing on the fields of Staten Island are nothing at all as playing in the stadiums in New Jersey and other places.
Sure.
Yeah, we're going in those buildings, we need to have a ticket.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, I don't have a problem with people getting opportunities. I just wonder if you're, the defensive line for the Denver Broncos or the Minnesota Vikings, and a woman comes up and she's going to teach you the 3 technique, or she's going to teach you, I wonder, can you really take it serious? Can you really? I don't know the answer to it. You know what I'm saying, Jeff? I don't know if you've never played the game. Can you teach it? Now, I don't know everybody who's always played it, but I think it's tough.
I'm just noticing what Carrie wrote, and Carrie, I understand this point because I have a daughter, and I would be pretty pissed off if my daughter said that she went and joined the military and didn't say anything to me. I'd probably kill her. So, but the reason why is your son may join the military and God forbid get killed. Your daughter may join the military and God forbid get captured and raped, God knows how many times, and all sorts of heinous things done to her and then killed. So, it's a little bit different when on certain levels in certain situations.
I kind of disagree. I'll say this. I think if somebody's able to and willing to, I think they should be allowed to join. Now, I understand
they're allowed to join, but you're talking about, I wouldn't want my daughter joining.
No, again, I wouldn't. Here's the thing. I wouldn't want my kids to join the military, but if they came to me, I would be extremely proud that they did it. I would support them on it. Carrie, I think I understand why your dad wouldn't want you to do it, based on what he probably saw and experienced, and all the ugliness. I get it, but to me, if a man, woman, listen, I know that, Jeff. I know guys who I would pray to God nobody would ever put them on the gun, give them a gun and put them on the front lines.
Of course,
so
we both do.
Yeah,
we both do.
So to me, that that's, and again, I'm not taking it to sports or the military or being a cop. To me, if you're physically able to do the job, I'm all for it. I've seen guys. Listen. I went through the correction academy with guys who I swore if I ever got locked in a room with them, I would turn on them and beat the crap out of them myself, because I wouldn't want them. I wouldn't have to worry about them taking my back. There are people. There are men, women who are meant to do a job, and some can't. So I'm all for, if you're willing and you're able. That's the big thing, Jeff. If you're willing and able to do it, whether it's serve your country, your city, play a sport, then I'm all for it.
Listen,
but nobody gets the opportunity.
Being willing and able is a broad term. Okay, these guys that are now being told that they can't compete with women because they have to compete as the sex that they were not assigned, but that they were at a certain age. These people are willing and able to switch leagues and go play basketball in a women's sport, or swim in a women's league, or do this in a women's whatever. And they were born men, and they were men for many, many years.
100%, yep.
Okay. So to say that is a kind of a broad term.
Well, I think we're talking about two different things. I'm saying is because
it applies to everything abroad. Because
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair if Magic Johnson woke up in the height of his career and said, "I'm going to go play women's sports as a basketball player," that he should be allowed to because he's capable of it. I'm just saying is if a woman's out there and she's able to compete with a man in a sport and she can beat him, then okay, then go for it. And if a woman or anybody is capable of serving our country and carrying a rifle and they're willing, then I'm all to me, I back them 100%.
Well, there is no gender friendly, or however you want to put it, leagues or sports other than what, maybe softball, where men and women could be on the same team.
Yeah, I would agree. I'd have to think about that, but yeah, I mean, I would think
I could think of a sport right now that
golf.
Well, golf. How about not to sound stupid, but dead serious, bobsledding.
Yeah. Okay.
What's up, Mike? Mike Bifoco, enjoying retirement. This lucky man, this old work friend.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for stopping by.
Okay. But so mixed gendered bobsledding.
That's interesting. I never thought of that one, but that's an interesting one. Okay.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure what else could it be other than like golf? You certainly can't make softball. You can't make a football team.
No, basketball.
Can't make basketball. Can't make hockey.
You have to get in the weeds a little bit with sports. skating events, stuff
there
like
is-
that,
There
Olympics,
is skating
certain things.
events
But
with men and women's figure skating.
yeah,
For pairs or whatever they call them.
yeah,
But now, you know what? That you got to watch because I'm waiting. You know what's going to happen by the next Olympics.
Yes.
There's going to be 2 men on there.
yes, absolutely. There'll be a transgender man trying out for the women's Olympics.
And then I hope that Schweiker falls out of his little dress and hits the other guy right across the grill.
Carrie, I can't even ask Carrie the question. For never mind. I can't believe you're running around calling your thingy a Schweiker.
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 There you go. There you say it.
Schweiker.
Like an old Jew. Hey, my Schweiker hurts.
Oh, my Schweiker. I got my Schweiker. Hey guys, it's Hard Rock Sports. We're going to wind this down. I'm about out of gas. We're about out of topics for tonight, but thanks for choosing to stay in. Next week, another big show. That would be our. I think you are a crazy woman if you are in shape and capable. Why the hell would you want to be tackled by? Listen, Carrie, for $35 million a year, I get tackled by Jeff in his closet. So I'm all. If you're a woman, you can get out there and you can earn some bucks. I agree with you, but I pay for the plane. That's all, man. I'll take the pain. But I hear your point.
Dude, listen, they couldn't give me enough fucking money a year to be chased around by some fucking guy that size. Because when it's one thing to get away from him, but it's those moments that he catches you.
Oh yeah. Okay? Oh yeah.
If he catches you, it's going to be nothing but pain.
Oh yeah.
Pain.
You are not going to forget that moment. I've been hit a few times in my life.
Well, actually, you know what? You very well may forget that moment. You may be one of those things where you're on a film, where there's a documentary, and they ask you, what do you remember that day? I remember the sun was out. I remember it was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
It was about 60 degrees. There was a slight breeze. I don't remember the play. The last thing I remember was going out onto the field and putting the chin strap on. I don't remember anything after that. Do you want to watch the video? And then they show you the video. When you're done there, you ask can you please shut the camera off because you're crying? Because you saw what happened to your body.
You finally found out what happened to you that day. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Your brain caught up to your body finally, and it's not a good reunion.
Mike, we talked a bit about the Goose passing away at 55. Gone way too young. And, while not my favorite football player, one of my favorite announcers of this era, one of the guys I did enjoy hearing what he had to say during games. I was always afraid. I was always sad that they took that away from him. So thank you for bringing that up again. But Jeff, I think it's 9:20, so we're going to call it a night. I'm going to start with the thank yous and say thank you to everybody at RFL Records for not only helping set up the David Lyon Court interview, but everybody popping up here, including Carrie, and hanging with us for the night. Carrie, thank you. Spread the love, Carrie. Let your legion of friends and fans out there know about the Hard Rock and Sports Show. And, of course, RFL Records and David Lyon Court, thank you for being part of tonight.
See you later, Mike.
See you, Mike. Also, thanks to my dad for popping up, as he always does on Thursday nights. So it's always a big thing. Thanks to my partner in crime, Mr. Jeff Tomwinski, for 2.5 hours of catching up and chatting. We kind of chat every day, but Thursday night's kind of our night to sit across from each other and talk about all things that pop into our mind. It could be about gun control. It could be you too, Carrie. Thank you very much for being a part of the show tonight.
See you later. Have a good night.
But we never know what we're going to get to here. So thanks to Jeff. And
I'll tell you this: I told you July. I think I asked you last weekend, but I'll ask you 1,000 more times before then. July 30th is a go over there or what?
July 30th is 100% go. I haven't figured out my wife's work schedule, so we may be late if she's working that day. But regardless, we'll be there, and I'm certainly going to be there.
All right.
So she gets out of work at 3:30, a quick costume change, as they say, and then we're out to Staten. I don't know what time you're starting your beloved shindig.
Probably in that area of something 3:30 to 5 o'clock kind of. Sharon likes to. You know why Sharon likes to run it late?
Why?
Because we have lights in the backyard.
She likes the lights
and
to
so
pop
she
up.
likes to use the lights and everything. So that's why we have the parties a little bit on the late side.
Okay.
The earlier the party starts with me around,
Mm-hmm.
the more of a chance that things run amok.
Yeah, I've seen you at parties early, and it's not always a good thing.
No,
I don't
It's
even-
not. It's not, especially if we don't do much before the party and I'm bored and I'm like, well, I got to check the temperature on this and I'll check this and that. And next thing you know, within 15 minutes, I'm 3 deep and things are going south quickly.
Yes, but the Tawinski Bash is always a favorite. I'm looking forward to July 30th, and yes, 100%. I will be in attendance for that. So I'm looking forward to seeing Jeff and Sharon and some of the great people that are always there. So that's always a big thing. So good. Stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff coming up. Jeff's birthday, the Jeff birthday bash, and
Yeah.
of course our big show on the 28th for our anniversary and the opening of the training camps for football. So lots to talk about for that. So keep coming back every week. We'll keep coming up here and doing our thing, and hopefully you guys will join us each week. So Jeff, I'll give you the final word.
Man, I can't wait for my fucking birthday. I want to see what I'm getting.
You get enough stuff every year.
Oh, actually, no, Tom, I don't.
I'm not buying that one.
I don't. Although I've made a few maneuvers
Lately.
able to stockpile some money.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be making an order by next week at this time. If things go right, I got to pick up some money from 2 other people. It'll put me over the mark that I need to be. I make a phone call. I'm like, listen, I want to get this. What's the best you can give me? They tell me, I don't know. Oh, wait. And then I'll get what I want.
Well,
And then I got no more stuff.
I hope you get what you want, and I love watching your vids, so keep them up. And of course, we got a lot of stuff here at the Hard Rocket Sports we're going to be doing over the next few months. So stick around. We got a lot to do, but for tonight, we're done. You ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here. So tune over to other stuff and or go to sleep, because that's what I'm going to do. I got a big day tomorrow. I'm getting a new pickup truck tomorrow from the company, so I got to. It's going to be a nice day.
And what are you exactly going to do with your?
Well, the plan right now is we're going to Carvana my wife's car, sell my wife's car. It's got some significant value for a Chevy Spark.
Okay.
So I'm going to sell that, and then we're going to trade in my car. And my wife is interested in a new Ford Bronco.
Oh boy,
she loves the Ford Bronco, and that's the car she wants. So that will be the family car. We are debating the lease of the Ford Bronco because we don't do a lot of driving with her car. We got her car almost 6 years. She's got 37,000 miles.
If you're gonna look into a Bronco,
Go ahead.
Contact me, brother.
Oh yeah.
Tell my brother.
Why?
If it's, I don't want to say over the air.
I got you.
Call my brother, ask him, text him, call him, whatever it is you got to do. Tell him you're interested. Ask him if there's anything he can say. Anybody he can set you up with.
Okay.
All right.
I will reach out. I will definitely reach out to the Greg store on that. It's always good to have
because
family.
Not for nothing. And do your research.
Mm-hmm.
Do your research on the Ford Bronco, because there's several different models of the Ford Bronco.
There is several models. Yes, she's narrowed it down to colors.
You don't want to get one that you find out isn't going to be able to get out of its own way in the snow.
Yeah. Well, yes. Well, again, she's driven out for 6 years in a Chevy Spark, which, if you get a snowflake, will cover the car and make it.
I understand that, but if you're going to get a truck, like my truck, right, is the 4Runner SR5.
Right.
That is the entry level 4Runner. If you go up a couple models, they make a 4Runner that could pretty much crawl up the side of a building.
Right.
Well, I didn't need that one, and it's also expensive. But mine is just as capable, so it doesn't have certain things. I'm not taking it off road anyway. But when it snowed, I laughed at the snow. The truck went through the snow, especially with the bigger tires I put on there now and everything. Off road tires. So
Now, do you recommend a lease, Jeff? I mean, you do a lot of leasing, right?
I only do a lot of leasing because when it came to my wife's car, we leased the last 3 cars and then we bought her car.
Okay.
All right. I lease my truck now only because I wasn't able to afford my truck. So I leased it for 3 years. I don't want to have a payment and just keep putting money out the window.
I agree with you on that.
So I want to buy it. And I'm hoping that next year at this time, I'll be starting to make payments on it and I'll have to buy my car outright.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm starting to explore different options with the car as far as buying it and like just to see what I got to do.
Right.
and what loans are and everything else, because I want to be able to buy it. I don't want a lease. I've seen a Honda Accord lease. I'm sorry, Honda Pilot lease,
Mhm.
$4,500 down, $499 a month.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
I pay $450 a month for mine right now, but I put nothing down.
Right.
Nothing.
Right. We had this conversation once, and you said that you'd rather keep the lump cash in your pocket and pay a little extra a month.
Yeah, but because you know what? When I'm done paying for it, it's mine.
Right.
The houses are going through the roof.
Yeah.
Everything is going through the fucking roof. I want to be able to just not have to write a check for $450, $500 a month.
Well, yeah. To me, right now, I'm going to save. Trading in my car will save us $460 a month. So, to
How's
me,
it gonna save you $468 a month?
well, my car payment is $460 a month.
Okay, what do you think it's going to be when you get the Bronco?
Right, but I'm paying 200 and something for hers. So if I pay 350 for the Bronco 4, I'm still saving myself one payment. And
Okay,
my
so you'll be saving some money each month.
correct. It's not going to be 400, but it'll save me a payment, and it'll also I'm going to have one car instead of two cars on my insurance. So I'll save a few bucks, and that's how I look at it. So by my company giving me a truck, and I don't have to have a personal car to be driving around with to go to work every day. So
That's big right there.
yeah. So I'm not been big on leasing. I said to her, we'll go and we'll take a look, but I'm not going to hand them $5,000 or $4,000 to lease a car that in 3 years I might give back and then be out that money. I prefer to hold the money in my pocket.
I don't blame you, but one way or another, if you're going to buy something, you're probably going to have to put some money down on it anyway.
Correct.
But if you lease it and then you're like, wow, this isn't too bad, I could see myself buying this.
Right.
That's one thing. But if you lease it and you're like, oh man, I hate this thing.
Well, that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
But by that point, I've already given them the money one way or the other. So to me, I'd rather say, okay, they tell me $3,500, or it's going to cost me an extra $1.25 a month. I'd rather pay the $1.25 a month. After 2 years, if they want to take it back and I'll do something different on another lease because I don't like it. But if I like the car and I've saved that $3,500, and okay, now I'll take that money and help put it down a nice substantial down payment or pay off the car.
Yeah,
But,
I think they wanted me to put down. I know it was a minimum of 15, might have been 2,500. They wanted me to put down.
Right.
And when that happened, I was like, I remember telling the guy, I was like, why am I going to give you this money up front? What am I getting out of this?
That's the point.
Your payment will be smaller and everything else. Like, by how much? It's like, well, it would have been like from $450 to $430. I'm like, so I'm going to give you this, and I'm going to get $20 off.
Right. Yeah, that's how I feel. Right.
Like, I'm already giving. That's the money I have to give you, so you're going to wait for it. He didn't like that.
Yeah.
He didn't like that at all.
I get it, but I also say to myself, why do I want to give them my bulk money when for a few bucks more a month I can keep that bulk in the thing and pay an extra $50 a month, and I'll feel a lot less.
Oh, dude, I totally agree.
Yeah,
totally agree with you.
Yeah, I'm just starting the process, but that's kind of the plan. So some point in the next couple of weeks we'll take a ride, but I'll reach out to Gregor and see what he says about the Ford Bronco, and if he's got a connection someplace, I'd be happy to.
His daughter has a Ford Bronco.
Oh yeah,
yeah, his youngest one.
Okay,
I didn't see it yet, but I don't know if it's a lease or if she bought it. I'd imagine it's a lease.
Yeah, I'll reach out. Like I said, my wife's kind of got her heart set on it based on just looks, not on anything else. She's never driven one.
And it's only a 3-cylinder, some of them. They're very
really?
small engines. Yeah. That's why I said do your research, because supposedly there's two different ones. There's a larger one and a smaller one.
Yes, I've seen both. Yes, I've seen both.
I don't know what the difference is.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it'll be her car, and then on the weekends we either take the pickup truck or we'll jump in the Bronco. I've driven her car around, so it's not a problem. But one step at a time, like I said, just got to make some maneuvers, and it'd be nice to have a little bit of a less payment every month, and and the worst case scenario is I'll sell my car to Carvana. We'll hold on to her car for a couple more years, and we'll save a lot of money. And if we can't come up with a good deal.
See, me, I can't work. I can't operate like that. I go to the fucking car. No, that's like my wife. You're just like her. you know, my wife, when she got her car, she wanted to pay X.
Yeah.
And when they told her it was going to be Y, and she was just like, nope.
Yeah.
She threatened to walk up. She got up out of the seat. And they're like, no. And they were like, what is the most that you want to pay? And she told them like 250.
Right.
Or I think it was like 225. Actually, 200, 225. She ended up getting it for 233 a month, and she begrudgingly signed. And they were like, listen, this is the best that it's going to be. Do you want to do this? Yes or no? This is the best we can do, 233. And she was just like, fine. Me, if they give me a number I can afford each month, I'm like, just get the papers, baby. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, see, I'm not that way with cars. Like, to me, I want to pay the least I can pay. I want a nice car, but to me, it's and I'm in a car, dude. You know me, I drive 80 miles a day, but I don't need bells and whistles. I don't need any of that stuff. Let me just get in the car and drive home, and I just want to be safe in it.
I'm not, Tom. I'm not buying cars that going to rival a Cadillac here.
Yeah.
I got a Toyota 4Runner.
Yeah.
You know, if they turn around and they're like, listen, it's going to be $480 a month, $450, $480 with $30. What's the big deal? Give me the fucking con. Let's go.
But you go in with a number in your head like, okay, this is the best, this is the worst I could spend, or the most I could spend is this. Do you have that number in your head when you go in?
I go in with hopes. Like, that's what I go in with.
That's it.
I go in with hopes. I don't go in with a specific number, because if I go in there with a specific number, it never works out. I go in there with the hopes that it's not going to be too far off the number I can afford.
Okay.
And then I hope that it's that it's not so astronomically high.
Yeah.
That I realize just how poor that I am. So I like it to be in a number that I could somewhat, say without breaking into hives. So when I traded my Jeep in, right, and my lease was up, I think I was paying $350 a month, but I put down a lot of money on that.
Did you?
Unnecessarily, I put
that's the thing I want to try to avoid. To me, if my payment goes from $350 to $390, but I'm holding on to $4,000 in cash, so be it. I'll find $40 a month.
Well, it's just no big deal.
Right.
I can tell you right now, you if whatever it is, your payment's going to go up.
Yeah, of course. I expect that. But if this isn't a car that, in a year or two, I might not be driving back there going, the car sucks. I want to start a new lease. And I've given you $4,000 of my money. There
is no start. There's no that. You can't do that. You can't do that.
Okay. I don't know the process. So I'm saying is,
if you want to get out of a lease, you got to be prepared. Like, say you have the car for 2 years and you're like, this thing sucks. I can't take it no more.
Yeah.
I got to get rid of it. You'd have to find somebody that's willing to work with you. If not, it costs money. You got to pretty much got to pay it off.
But if I go back to the dealership and say, okay, I want to get another lease, I'm sure it's a little easier to try to do that than anything else. But again, I'm hoping she gets a car. She loves it. But again, unless it's saving me astronomical amount of money, I want to hold lump sums of money in my own pocket.
I hear you, but usually what ends up happening, the way that I understand it, is like, say with Ford, like maybe Lincoln Mercury is the one that holds the note for your car.
Okay,
right? Or that's a bad excuse. Maybe you end up getting a loan through Chase Manhattan Bank.
Right.
Okay. Now that car doesn't belong to Ford anymore or Lincoln Mercury. Now the car belongs to Chase Manhattan Bank. And now Chase Manhattan Bank, they bought the car because that's why the buyout figure is X at the end of the lease.
Right.
And you're paying $350 a month for this car. So what it's going to cost $12,000 out of your pocket. They want that money because now they're going to sell the car for this bottom line number here.
Sure.
And now you like, I don't want this car. It sucks. It's like, well, what are we going to do with it? We don't want it. You said you were going to lease it for 3 years. Sorry, pal. You're going to, unless you're coming up with money, it sucks, man. That's the bad part about leasing.
No, I agree. Like I said, I would like to own it and buy it outright for her because that's the way that she's very good with cars. She doesn't do a lot of miles. She semi takes good care of it. So, but if the payment's $500 and then the lease would be $350, I have to think about it a little bit. But whether we could save a few bucks, you save a few bucks. We'll see how it goes. But got another adventure coming up. But guys, we'll end the show right there. It's been we're a little over time. Appreciate everybody coming around again. Thanks to David Lioncourt, all the people at RFO Records, my dad, Carrie, everybody listening tonight, watching us tonight. We do appreciate it. It's a lot more fun when we're doing this and people actually paying attention to us, other than getting ignored at home by our wives. So, Jeff, anything on the final word?
That's it, man.
Jeff, we'll give Jeff a chance to go check his pants. He's been spraying. We're only hoping for good things when he checks.
I'm good.
You good?
Was able to give it a quick wiggle. No extra slide.
There you go. So, guys, it's going to be a little hot on Saturday. It's going to get a little scorcher out there. So be careful, be safe. I want everybody to watch a lot of sports, listen to a lot of music. Lots of great bands running the streets out there. Make sure you get out there and support them. And then, of course, support the Hard Rock and Sports Show. So for Jeff Tolwinski and myself and everybody here at Hard Rock and Sports, I say thanks for tuning in. We'll see you back here next Thursday. Have a great night, a good weekend, and an amazing week. And we'll see you back here Thursday night for another show. Jeff, have a good one, pal. Talk to you off the air.
Later, man.
Later, man.